Hello, hello, PTG fam. Thank you guys so much for tuning into the show. This episode is brought to you by Transfuse. Transfuse is the best #1 electrolyte immune boosting drink that you can have. It is the ultimate performance enhancer. We absolutely love it. We have been drinking this stuff every day nonstop for, 3 or 4 months now, and we are feeling fantastic. This stuff has everything you need as an athlete and as somebody who is just trying to maximize your brain performance, your cognitive abilities, and make sure that you're hydrated. So many of us walk around every single day dehydrated. A lot of Americans out there are incredibly dehydrated. We don't drink enough water, and we definitely don't get the electrolytes we need. Transfuse has sodium, potassium, magnesium, which are all very essential electrolytes that we need to make sure that our bodies are hydrated and functioning properly. Also has vitamin B, it has choline. These are amazing brain boosting vitamins. And then, in these times, we need to make sure our immune system is fully supported. It has over 1,500 milligrams of vitamin C, and it also has 50 milligrams of zinc. Zinc has been proven over and over in study after study to reduce the duration of the common cold. It is an incredible immune booster, and obviously so is vitamin C. You can compare it to other brands like Emergency, which only have 1,000 milligrams of vitamin C. This stuff is all incredibly absorbable. It tastes amazing. They have some really good flavors. My personal favorite is watermelon lime. I talk about it all the time. If you guys want to give it a shot, we have a little discount for you. They've been a huge supporter of the show, so you guys could head over to translabs.com. That's tranzlabs.com. Use code PLAYTHEGAME at checkout. You'll get 10% off. Little hot tip, if you guys do subscribe to Transfuse and you sign up for the auto ship, where they will send you whatever flavor you want once a month, or however you want to set it up, a couple boxes, then you get an additional 11% off. So it ends up being a 21% discount. Becomes incredibly affordable, guys. You guys need to be taking care of your bodies. Whether you're competing or not, you want to be hydrated. You want to be taking your vitamins and making sure that your body is functioning as well as it can. That's what it's about, is maximizing your abilities, and Transfuse absolutely helps us do that. So again, translabs.com. That's tranzlabs.com, and code PLAYTHEGAME. This episode is also brought to you by Heal Brand. Heal Brand is the best CBD company that we've ever worked with. I've worked with a few different companies in the past, and they were great. I've always really loved CBD, but Heal Brand has nanotechnology, which at first I was a little wary. Like, nanotechnology, what is that? Is it really is it just smoke and mirrors, or does it actually do anything? Nanotechnology is the business. I was told that I would notice a difference from the very first time that I used it, and I'm always skeptical of stuff like that, but it was true, 100%. When I got the product, I noticed it right away. They have a ton of cool different stuff. They have the nano drop tinctures, which is just kind of your traditional CBD, but with the nanotechnology, which means that it's basically a micronized formula so that the CBD can break through the cellular wall. You absorb it much faster and much more efficiently, so you need less to do more. Other CBD products that I was using, if you guys are familiar with CBD, I would use between 30 to even 60 milligrams of CBD per night to help me get a better night's sleep. With the Heal Brand nanotechnology CBD, I only need about 10 milligrams. So it's amazing. I love this stuff. I really do. But my favorite product from them is the knockout shots they have. They come in a little, almost like a 5-hour energy type bottle. They do have an energy version, but the one I'm referring to, the knockout, is fantastic. It has 10 milligrams of the nano CBD, but then it also has a bunch of other amazing all-natural ingredients like valerian root, tryptophan, stuff that is going to make you fall into a very deep, amazing sleep. We love this stuff. We're super stoked to be partnering with them, and as with our other supporters of the show, we have made a deal with them to bring you guys a discount. You guys can head over to healbrand.com. That's HEAL brand.com, and use code PLAYTHEGAME at checkout. You'll get 10% off of any products. We'd love to know what you guys think as well. So if you do get it, let us know what you're thinking of the product. I love it. I take the knockout stuff with me on pretty much any trip that I go on. You know, it's often difficult to fall asleep in hotel rooms, stuff like that. This stuff just knocks me out. I love it. I wake up feeling really refreshed, and you really can't ask for much more than that. This episode is also brought to you by G2 Paintball. G2 Paintball is a paintball athletics company that is designed to make you a better paintball athlete. They run programs out in Arizona that are really filling up fast and growing, and I know they plan to do quite a few more, but these programs are amazing. They're incredibly affordable, and it is geared around making you, like I said, better paintball athlete. Often, when training for paintball, players don't know exactly how they should be working out, what type of stuff they should be doing to be able to maximize their abilities on the paintball field. These are very different movements that we do on the paintball field, so it's so important that you are training to succeed in those situations, and G2 Paintball does exactly that. So head over to g2paintball.com, check out their website, see if there is a date coming up that you could attend, and let's get out there. Let's get to work. I know on Dynasty we absolutely use a lot of these training programs with G2. We've helped design them, and they really do work. They're amazing. So major shout out to another supporter of ours, G2 Paintball. Again, it's g2paintball.com. Check them out. This episode was an amazing one. It was really special. This is our 40th episode, and we wanted to make sure to dedicate this one to the great late Tim Montressor, and we thought there would be no better way than to have one of his absolute best friends, Ryan Moorhead, come on the show and really talk about his upcoming in the game, his friendship with Tim, share some amazing stories that they had together. It was a really good time. It was an amazing conversation, and we are so excited for you guys to hear it. So without further ado, we will see you in the show.
That was an insane inside move by Marcelo Margot. Great communication.
And the crowd starts chanting Harmon.
Great shot by all the guys. So Tyler Harmon saved that game.
He came out with 2 wins. Marcelo Margot was on fire.
Ryan Moorhead, number 85. My dude, thank you so much for joining us. This is a very special show. Obviously, this is our 40th show, and the late and great Tim Montressor, we know he was one of your absolute best friends, just a dominator in the sport. Both of you guys have accomplished so much in the game of paintball, both on and off the field, and we're just really happy to have you on, man. So
Dude,
thank
my
you.
brother.
Welcome.
Yes. Thank you.
I really appreciate you guys having me on. I mean, you guys are doing great work with this podcast, and obviously as players, so it's going to be cool to chat for a while.
Yeah, brother.
Awesome,
Thank
dude.
you. Dude, you're one of my favorite paintball players. Your style is impeccable. You just, dude, the way you move out there is nobody has the kind of style that you carry on the paintball field. It's kind of unorthodox. It's wild. It's crazy. You got the hair flowing. You got the balls are flying left and right, and you're just making it happen. But we're honored to have you on the show. You're a complete legend, and we're so grateful to have you here, bud.
Yeah,
That's
I actually
that.
think you unraveled your headband and it's behind you right now
Yeah.
on the wall. For
Yeah,
the people
it's
listening,
that big. It's that big, man.
For the people listening, check out the YouTube channel. Obviously, Ryan Moorhead, Captain America. He's got the American flag behind him. I wore my Team USA shirt in honor of Ryan. He's definitely Captain America out there. Always has been. Huge,
Yes, sir.
huge advocate of Team USA. You've been on the team for a very long time.
Yes,
Won quite a bit with them. That's actually the only time I've ever gotten to play with you, which has been pretty cool. Typically, you're always on the other end of the field, you know?
A lot of battles
when I was a
against each other. A lot of battles against each other since we were both little kids.
Yeah,
Yeah.
seriously, man. Damn.
Dude, what's the backstory on how the whole American flag style started for you?
You know, I've always been pretty patriotic. I think it's
Yeah.
we're lucky to have been born in this country.
Yes.
It's a pretty special country. It's pretty crazy how the whole thing happened, and when and like all the founding fathers, the fact that they were able to make a democracy or a constitutional republic that is stand the test of time and has really worked.
Yeah.
And I appreciate the freedoms we're given. I mean, some things are rough in this country and things that are always ebbs and flows, but
That's
I
everywhere,
appreciate a
you
lot
know?
about the
Yeah.
country. And then my dad was in the Marines, my grandfathers, my one
Beautiful.
fought in the Battle of the Bulge, the other one was in the Navy. So there's always a history of that. And obviously I started playing paintball a lot younger. So I was already traveling and doing that. So I never really considered going into the military, but I really appreciate all their service and everything that those people really sacrificed to like protect the things that our country stands for. So I think it's just kind of like a nice homage to do. I mean, it's doesn't take much to do, but it's nice to support your country and to support all the people
I love that.
Allow it to happen.
Yeah, my dad was actually in the Army Rangers as well. That's how I got into paintball. Was me and my old man would go out and pelt each other up, and that was kind of how we got our start there.
That's awesome. You toughen you up a little bit.
Oh, dude, he would beat me down.
Speaking of toughen it up, what led to you not wanting to wear elbow pads or knee pads, actually, and rolling up your sleeves so that you're diving on dirt?
So since Ryan pointed that out, I've definitely get nothing but questions about this. In interest of fairness and honesty, I do wear pads. I wear small ones. I wear like basketball shooting sleeves on my arms, and then basically just
shooting sleeves. You call those pads?
There's something. It's something. There's not elbow skin hanging out.
Okay.
And then on my knees, I wear like compression sleeves, and
yeah,
I wouldn't do it. I'm not trying to do it to be tough or anything like that. I do it because I honestly think it's an advantage. Like I feel faster. I feel more limber. I feel I can wear tighter clothes, and I'm not bulky, and my arms aren't sticking out. Things like that.
Yeah.
But what really made me start considering to stop wearing it was actually I hurt my knee wearing pads. We were playing at Camp P, and it was on that the trashier field, like right after a storm.
We call that the El Diablo's carpet there.
Yeah, the devil's carpet's rough.
Hey, honestly,
when it's dry, it's the devil's carpet.
I'm excited for you guys to come out. Fran has actually done a really good job with that place ever since he took it over and under new management. The turf, I don't know how he revived that place so well, but it's it's still a little hard if you land hard, but at least you slide. You don't stick. The turf is much better. It's really nice.
Yeah, that's awesome. I'm excited about that. I can deal with any kind of playing surface, really. I mean, I prefer grass, but you don't get that when we play as much as we do anymore. Right. But but that one time when I was playing there, when it was like right after a storm, I don't think the field had been cleaned in maybe 26 years. So
at least
like 8 inches of like gucky, slimy paint. And my knee pad caught and my knee rolled in it, right? So I strained my MCL, my ACL. It was just my knee was kind of wobbly for a while. And I was like, I'd way rather deal with a brush burn here or there, a cherry here or there, a bruise here or there, than ever deal with tearing a knee. And obviously, Marcelo, you understand how long it takes to come back from that kind of things. The older you get, the harder it is to heal, at least in a timely manner. So I quit wearing the pads for that reason. And since I quit wearing, I saw the other benefits to it. And honestly, I really feel better than I ever have. I barely ever am skinned up. I barely ever have bruises, and I just feel good. And I could wash my paintball clothes in like a washer this big.
A one by one.
I would be concerned about, and my concern with even landing hard in knee pads is, having any sort of cartilage damage. It's just like that.
I think long term that definitely could be an issue. I just think been so rough on my knees since 97, and that's what a lot of people are. I could never do that. I was like, if I can do that, I'm like, I don't play carefully at all. Like you said about my style, it's super unorthodox and ugly half the time. I fall hard, I hit hard. So I feel like if I could do it, a lot of the more graceful players could certainly do it.
Yeah,
it's been working for you.
Yeah, Captain America does not get hurt. First of all, let me just say that. All right, then you know what's amazing about your style, Ryan, is it is very unorthodox, but it works. It works because you understand the game. You understand how to play paintball, and when you need to get that crispy snapshot, when you need to get that fundamentally sound shot going, you tie that in. But yeah, dude, you have a free-spirited style of paintball, which is really refreshing to watch. And you, like I said, you got the hair flowing, you got everything going. It's fun to watch you play ball, man. You're a good player.
I really appreciate that. I think I definitely rely on my instincts more, but that's like we've all played for so long. You get so much like actual like big moment time on the field that you understand these situations kind of innately. You don't have to. You're not thinking. I'm not in a game thinking about all these different scenarios. It's just you feel them happening, right?
That's right.
And the longer you play, the more you play with your teammates, and you can read body languages of them. You can tie that all into it. But I see players nowadays, and obviously at a younger age, they're starting with such better gun skills than we ever did. I mean, we had to grind to get those and work them out, but that's a given now. You have to have these gun skills, but they're trying to learn the harder parts after. And I think that's tough on them, because I think the way we did it, like we got better in increments, and that was helpful, right? Because I mean, when I started playing with 10 man, probably 50% of people didn't shoot left-handed.
Yeah.
Slowly work in this. But what I did learn is I learned like situational things about movement and when not to over battle and when to try to be sneaky and when to get lost and when to push your advantage, when do you have to get an advantage, when you have to over pressure something or under pressure something. These are all things that you have to do. And I think too many people now look at it like it's a book. Like, here's 10 ways to win. You got to do this step, this step, this step, and this step. And that's not how it is.
No.
You have to be ready to adapt to anything that happens, because in paintball, there's more variables than in any sport that I've ever played. And I've played a lot of sports. And I mean, not only are we shooting at each other with things that are going over 200 miles an hour, but but you're playing offense and defense at the same time. You're worrying about the clock, and you're going through gaps that are like inches, inches big. So
that's right. No, you're right, dude. It's such an amazing game we play, dude. And all of us sitting here are sports fanatics. We all play a ton of sports, and there's nothing like paintball, man. I've tried it all. We've all done it all, but nothing fills that void the way that paintball does for me. And I'm sure, of course, for all of you guys sitting here. And speaking of that, like diving back into how you were talking about 10 man, how pivotal was that upbringing, playing 10 man in the woods, you know, that grassroots paintball? How pivotal was that for what you do today?
I think it was huge. I think you learn a lot of unique ways to play a game. You're not just trying to battle. You're crawling. You're finding openings that don't look like they're openings, because you're not playing behind bunkers all the time. You're learning when to communicate and when to get lost. You're learning to play shadows and light, and a lot of these things you learn without even knowing you're learning it. But it's just the repetition of doing all these things that you start understanding that. And I mean, before I started playing 10 man in 2001 with all these too, I mean, I picked up playing paintball, and me and my friends built fields in our backyards, and we were playing 2-on-2s in the woods and stuff like that. So it all kind of ties in.
I'm so blessed, bro. I got to play for the All-Americans a couple weekends ago.
We're brethren now, brethren.
I know, dude.
That's crazy, damn.
Like that's like a bucket list item for me. I got to play for the All-Americans 10-man team alongside with Spesh and Frank. I didn't get knocked out by Frank. It was a successful weekend. I had a great time out there running around, and
he's toned down in his old age.
I don't know if I could ever play for the All-Americans. Not gonna lie. I grew up as rivals, you know. It's so tough.
I hear you.
Massive respect for the organization, but I don't know if I could ever do that one, you know.
I get it. There's those rivalries that you think never go away. I mean, the Ironmen were that with us, and especially in 2008, because from like 2007 to 8, you guys just stomped on us, and that was frustrating. And by 2009, we were the better team that year. So I think I
wasn't on the team anymore. Makes sense.
No, I wasn't. Yeah, that's probably why. You know, that's probably why. But like just having those fights that go back and forth over generations. You know, the Ironman All-Americans hated each other in the 90s. They hated each other in the early 2000s, and unfortunately that ended in 2009 at the end when we had to go away. But it's cool seeing it getting revived in the woods. I mean, you see the classic, the OG Ironman team, which it's a different group of guys. It's a different thing, but it's still the name. It's still people carrying that flag, and I think it's neat to see.
It's amazing, dude. And like I came up under the Oakland Assassins camp, and we were always going heads up with the All-Americans. So I never thought that I would play on the All-Americans with those dudes either. So it was like just such a paradigm shift for me to have those guys next to me. And huge shout out to, sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, there was actually a small chance I was almost going to play for the Oakland Assassins.
Oh, bro.
With you, because at 2003, when I was still on the All-Americans, but Philly was a team, so we were playing Open X Ball. Yeah, Chris Wilson was talking to Bobby. He really wanted to get me on the team, and I almost played for Strange the year before. But if it stayed 10-man, I was going to play with Strange. It went to X Ball, so I didn't. Yeah. And then Chris was trying to talk to Bobby about picking me up, and then we transitioned over and became Miami Effect. So
damn, that's
crazy. You're on Miami Effect?
Oh yeah.
Not the original Miami Effect. The Smart Parts Miami Effect when the guys went and burned to Infamous. Yeah, I was I've only ever actually left one team, which Impact, and I played on that team too. But like Philly Americans disbanded, so I started on the Ice too. That turned into the All-Americans, which turned into Miami Effect, and I got traded from Miami Effect to Philly Americans in 2005 in Chicago. So I played half that event with Miami Effect and then half with Philly.
Whoa.
Hold on. You got to explain to the listeners getting traded, what that meant at that time, because that was a unique time in paintball where the NXL was trying to kind of have like a season-long type of structure instead of tournament structure, you know. Hey, and also real quick, just because I do want to dive into my beer. I know we all have some beers right here. Let's give a nice little
Cheers, boys.
Cheers to
Cheers.
Tim.
Cheers. Yep.
Number
Amen.
40, baby.
40, baby. Yep,
Yeah, baby.
absolutely.
Let's go.
It's one of a kind.
We know
man.
he
He's a good
he always loved his good beers. That's one thing I learned from traveling with him overseas. He always knew the good beers.
He also loved his bad beers, surprisingly.
Yeah.
He wasn't prejudiced
Some
against
Tiger
any beers.
beers. Yeah, true that. True
Some
that.
warm San Miguel's when we're on Malaga.
Dude, yeah.
Exactly.
My God, I love
All
that,
love.
man. He's such a great
Yeah.
dude. Wow. Yeah, and we want to dive into your backstory and kind of get the grassroots on Ryan Moorhead, how you started playing paintball. Like, please tell me if it was a birthday party or whatever you had going on.
It was.
Was it really? Was it really
Yeah,
a
of
birthday
course,
party?
yeah.
Oh my God.
There we go, baby. All right, so give us the details. What happened out there?
I was 12 years old. My buddy was having his 12th birthday party, Matt Setliff, and he did it this like little field, and it had one light, and it was like a pizza shop / paintball field. It had like spools, a little bit of wood, but mostly kind of just trash.
Yeah.
We played like maybe an hour before dark, and then the one light. So we played the first time I ever played was pretty much dark. There was like one little corner of the field illuminated. It was pretty fun. I was out there with like a Tippmann carbine, whatever we rented. Just had a blast the first time I played. I mean, it was one of those things like I was cockier in my younger age too. Like I was like, I'm definitely better than people then. Now I think I'm more confident, not as cocky, but back then I was definitely a little jerk. But
there we go.
Right from the beginning, I was like, oh, I think I could be really good at this. And I love playing it. I kind of quit playing all the other sports and paintball.
Well, you weren't wrong,
awesome, man.
You turned out to be pretty damn good at it.
Yeah. And I think the only sport that I could have had the same connection with, but like not the skill to do, is football. Because I think football is pretty amazing in the intricacies it has too. It's because every other sport you're playing like offense and defense at the same time. You're on a smaller roster, but it's crazy when you think about having it. Like, you know how hard it is with a team of 10 guys for a paintball team, right? To get all these egos and mindsets on the same page to have a winning attitude, to have the same attitude and the same goal, the same way to approach that goal. Football team has, you're talking college football, 80 some players. Professional football is like 65 if you include the practice squad players.
Sure.
And half of those guys don't even play with each other. It's like literally like that's the defense. Yeah. This is the offense. All the positions are so specialized that you have to be the best of the best at like one particular thing, and that's all. And I think that's the only sport that's like that. Like, that's why when everyone talks about football, they're always like, oh, there's just so many breaks or this. You play for 5 seconds, you have 40 off. And it's true, but that's because like those 5 seconds are pure explosiveness with 11 individual one-on-one battles that are completely unique in their own mindsets. And then as soon as that happens, one of those fall apart, you lose that play.
That's right.
I enjoyed playing football because of that, and I still love watching football because of that. But
what position did you play?
So I played when I was younger, like middle school, beginning of high school area. I was a wide receiver. I played safety a little bit. I broke my arm the one year right before our first game. Doing
not wearing elbow pads.
No, we were doing Oklahoma drills, and I slipped in the mud, and a fat kid fell on top of me.
Oh, bro!
You know that happens too.
Oh, how about? I hate bringing this up, but how about Dak yesterday, man?
Dude, that's brutal.
That's one of the worst injuries I've seen in a long time. I can't believe the sock like covered everything up because it was compound fracture. Apparently.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
that's just heartbreaking.
Makes me just shiver, bro.
Oh, it totally gives you the goosebumps. You're looking at it. You feel bad, especially for a player like him. He was on the franchise tag. He was trying to play to earn his money. I think he'll still get it. I mean,
I hope so.
You can heal from ankle breaks better than some other injuries, honestly. Like, and they said the surgery was successful for them, but it's one of those ones that just gives you that like gut punch to see it. It's just so graphic in nature. But like a torn Achilles or something is really a harder recovery, harder to come back from, but it just doesn't look bad when you see it. But with him, when he was crying and emotional, and he was playing so good this year too. Like, obviously the Cowboys were playing like trash, but their defense was playing like trash. He's playing really well. So I think they said 4 to 6 months recovery. I mean, he'll be back. He's young enough, and he's good.
He'll bounce back.
More than 4 to 6 months, my brother.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
man.
I bet you he'll play in the first
Godspeed,
game
but-
next year.
Yeah.
You think so?
I do. I feel good about
Well, dude,
that.
he's
for
got
him.
that
Okay.
$1 million
Okay.
medicine, baby.
Oh,
Yeah.
billion dollar
Alex-
medicine.
Yeah.
Alex Smith had pretty much the same. He had some complications, but he didn't play. It was almost 2 years. Yesterday was his first game. Kind of ironic
2
too
years.
kind of ironic that his first game back that happened
Yeah.
to Dak. But yeah, he had infection issues. He had all sorts of issues. But
He had the infections were really got him. He almost lost
Right.
his leg at one point in
Yeah.
time. He had to
Yeah,
have like
yeah,
11 surgeries. So
Right.
it's amazing
Oh
that
my
he even
God.
came back. So
Totally.
that's like that worst case scenario. You
Yes.
start getting those infections after a surgery like
For
that.
sure. For sure.
Damn. That's crazy. Yeah. So right, I want to dip back. So you played you played at the birthday party, and then how did the tournament aspect of it start to progress, and like what really got you into it? Did you and your buddies start playing together? Did you form a team, or what happened there?
So so after that birthday party, that was in November. That Christmas, I got a Spider Compact B for Christmas.
Hey.
my best friend at that time, he also got one, and we started a team, but it was like 8 people that kind of played sometimes, and then me and my friend who played all the time. It was the Silent Assassins, though. You know, it's a pretty cool name. Yeah,
the Silent Assassins.
It wasn't bad. We had some long sleeve tees, you know, with our logo, and I had a 16-inch All-American midnight green splash barrel with a laser engraved on there.
Oh damn!
Yeah.
So you were really a part of it. You were the Assassins earlier than I was. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Damn,
that's right.
That's crazy.
That Christmas was only like a little over a month from the first time I played, and as soon as I got that gun, I mean, we were playing all the time. I mean, every chance we got, we'd play, and it, like obviously money's an issue with paintball. It's an expensive sport, but if you want to get committed to something, you find ways around that, right? Like I would go out and we'd play games with 20 balls apiece. We'd run around, we'd do fields, we'd do things like that. Like you just do whatever you can do to get as much time on the field. Yeah, it's playing's fun, right? Like we're kids, we grew up with BB guns playing. Like kids probably don't have BB gun wars anymore, but we used to shoot each other with them, right? But before that, we had cap guns and play guns. And it's the same thing. You don't have to spend a lot of money to have fun doing it. You just have to do whatever you have fun doing. Right?
That's it.
Find a way to do it, and we did, and then. Our Silent Assassin teams, we played like, you know, local 3-mans and stuff around local 5-mans. I did that for like 2 years. And then I got picked up on the All A's too. And I started playing 10-man, like AMA at the time, which it was just like 12 pro teams, I think 10 AMA teams, and the rest were AMB at the time.
And what year was that you got on the All A's too?
2001.
2001. And so I was just hanging out with Spesh and all those dudes out there. So was Spesh a part of all that as well at that time?
Spesh was already on the All-Americans at that time.
I see.
He had played with All A's 2, maybe like 98, 97, somewhere in there. When the All A's 2 actually were pro and had a higher finish than the All-Americans
Oh, no way.
one year, and that they didn't like that. So they had some moving parts around that situation. But it was a weird situation too, because the All A's 2 and All-Americans, you think like brother-sister teams, whatever, like you're real tight, but like a lot of times you have more animosity with those people than anyone else. I mean, you're sharing sponsors, you're sharing money, you're sharing teams, you're always playing against each other. So that's a competitiveness all the time. So like,
that's right.
We had fist fights in 10-man playing each other sometimes. Like I remember the one time we were playing at Urban Assault where the Iron City Classic is, and we were playing on the hyperball field way before that one, but we got in a big brawl, and I remember like people were throwing, punching each other around. Mark Volitnikov got his like elbow dislocated or like hyperextended, had to miss like the rest of the year. Like I remember I saw Spesh like throwing like a couple people to the ground stuff, and I'm looking, I was like, I think I got to get involved, but he will monkey stop me. And you see that rage in his eyes. He'll just pick you up like a gorilla, rip your arms off. But I just kind of grabbed him, threw him around. I was like, oh, I'm getting out of here now. Old, you know?
Dude, this is like Major League Baseball brawls or NHL hockey style, huh?
I like it. I like that. I will say that not fighting, but I like that the NXL is allowing us to have a little bit of persona back, you know, like get a little bit of excitement.
That fire.
It was horrible those 5-6 years where they just tried to neuter any personality that you had. And I get you don't want constant talking back to refs. They have a hard job already being out in the sun all day, making tough calls in a game that's happening so fast.
Totally.
But I've always said, like, I think people think about paintball the wrong way. A lot of times they think about it like, hey, what's going to make this more entertaining for people, or what makes this look more professional? That's not how any professional sport ever worked. I'll tell you what worked. You make it fun to play, You make it fun to be involved in. You make it more people want to join. It doesn't matter what you play, what avenue, then more people know about it. And the more people that know about it, then you can start thinking about watching it. You don't cater to a
an
crowd
idea
that doesn't exist.
you're so right with that, Ryan. 100%. We've talked about that on the show quite a bit, actually. First and foremost, make sure it's fun. Make sure people want to do it. If people want to do it, it speaks for itself.
That's it.
Dave Cheney
And that's why I'm a huge proponent of all formats, all styles of paintball, because they're all fun and they can all be catered to different people, right? Like you want people from the ages of 8 to 70 to be playing. We don't want to be like, this is the only way to play. This is the only way you can be good. And then you're just cutting out any potential.
Dude, you must have listened to all of our shows. This is like one of the cornerstones of what we talk about on the Play the Game podcast. It's like,
that's what it is. I'm
paintball.
Number one fan.
Yeah, baby. Let's go.
Dude, hey, that's a great testimonial right there, baby.
Yeah, it's like you're so right, Ryan. But you're just cutting paintball at the feet if you do that, and you try to make it and corner it into this thing that this is the way. This isn't Mandalorian out here. There's so many different ways that we can play paintball, and there is, if you want to be the upper echelon, that we have professional paintball, but there's so many different styles, and they're all so valid, and they're all so important for the game. Totally, dude. Love that.
For the game, to grow a bigger audience, to grow a bigger player pool, that's what's important. But I think not only am I your number one fans for watching this, but also I think that comes with the territory of playing. I mean, we've all been playing for 15 to 20 some years. It's you see what has happened wrong, and you see what's happened right, and you play because you like it, so you know what would interest other people in it. So.
Yeah. Totally, dude. Exactly. It's honestly, like I said, we've all played a bunch of sports. It's the most fun I've ever had doing anything, is being out there shooting at you, Ryan, playing alongside Marcella and Ryan. We've been teammates before on Impact, so just being able to play this game and have fun and be like big ass kids running around playing laser tag is pretty amazing.
Obviously we're all super competitive, so like the losing aspect, you're always going to lose more than you win, and that part's frustrating. But if you can't leave with a smile on your face because we get to do this, something's wrong with you.
That's totally
right. And you know what, again, I think that is what will be and continue to be so powerful about Tim's legacy, is the fact that he really did bring 10-man back to the front of professional paintball in general. A lot of us do share that, the pro players, us three right here, we share that idea that yes, all paintball is good, but I can't say that was the case for, 6, 7, 8 years ago. I think most of us were actually gung-ho on, the type of paintball we were playing, speedball, NXL, PSP, whatever it was. That is the way it's got to be moving forward, because it's legitimate. It looks like a sport. This is going to be the way forward. And I do think that many of us kind of got lost on the idea that paintball is meant to be played in all sorts of different ways, and let's not cut our feet off. And Tim was really a pioneer in that. And that legacy to me is going to live on forever, for sure. And I think that it's going to be a big part that paintball does make it somewhere mainstream, and we have more eyes on the game because of what he built, the excitement that he brought back to the part of the game that anybody can play. People can come out with their family, you go out with your dad, your uncle, your sister, whatever it is, and go and just have fun in the woods and still compete, be competitive, and enjoy it at the most base level. You don't need to be a high level athlete playing this super intense, expensive, shoot a lot of paint kind of format. And that's absolutely amazing, dude.
I couldn't agree with you more. And what he did was, he's just such a good marketer and such a good businessman, because people were already playing 10-man. I mean, even me and Tim, we played a lot for the UWLs, the SPPLs before that, and those were some iteration of 10-man, but they were small and they were niche. What Tim did was he brought it onto a bigger scale. He showed it to more people. And I go to the Iron City Classic now, and I see there's some teams with 3 generations of players, like family playing together, and that kind of stuff's cool to me. And like, I see Adam Gardner getting his son Jude to play for this first time, and a new kid falling in love with a sport that made his dad who he is.
Wow.
And before that happened, before the Iron City was there, Jude really didn't have any interest in paintball at the time, because he just saw it was like that thing that was always in his life, but like never that interesting. And he knew his dad, he had heard his dad had won and been good, but there wasn't the same kind of media that there is now. So a lot of the stuff that happened in history has got lost to history, which is a shame.
Yes.
But when we were able to play that first Iron City, and he brought his son out and he watched us win that one, and he watched his dad playing awesome in the woods. I think he shot like 8 people one game. He's a killer on the mound. He doesn't shoot a lot of paint. Like he might shoot like, he brings 2 pods on the field in case he spills them both, I think. He shoots like 30 paintballs a game. But that's how he played X-Ball too. He's sneaky, he shoots people. And when his son finally got to watch him in action at an older age and still see him still competing against professional players now, it created that love for him. And now he's playing every weekend. He's drilling at the factory with Chad when Chad's there and doing things. And he's played, I think, I played a 5-man woodsball tournament with him up in Ohio like a month ago. We won that. He's won like the last 3 events he's entered.
There we go.
It's pretty cool.
Dude, that's
awesome.
You know,
I do got to say, and can't take anything away from Tom Cullen, what he did with the UWL, because you're right. 10-man was around. It was, again, Tim he brought it to the forefront, right? He really did. Yep. He got people very excited on the mass level, you know, to go and play that kind of paintball.
Well, what he did was he believed in it himself. He just didn't think enough people were going in playing in it. Enough people saw that aspect of it. So he leveraged a lot of his friendships and connections he made and said, hey, I'm doing this. You understanding of, if people come, they'll enjoy it. And the more people that play it, then they can grow into something big. And that's what happened. I mean, he used he has a bachelor in management and a really good marketer, and he used his business knowledge to do things the right way. I mean, you see like Jerry Braun, we played a 10-man Woodsball World Cup, like on the fields that they used to play the actual World Cup on a few years ago. He was restarting that. And like, I wouldn't have even known the event was happening unless like Tim told me or something. Like, you just didn't see that anywhere. Like, they think making one post on Facebook to their 100 friends is enough to get it out there, but you have to have a network, and you have to have sometimes you have to call in favors and get people to it, and that's what Tim did, and he built something special, and he knows how to run things. So he ran it great, and he made it an event. He made it more like a festival, as that I see it. Like,
for sure.
It's a whole atmosphere, and that's what he wanted. Like, that's why it never really had huge prize money and stuff like that. He put a lot more of that back into the infrastructure of the event and it running smoothly and having fun, because he wanted it to be that thing that you go to for the experience, not for just the competition. He wanted it to be like a blast from the past. Like when I played back then, I would be at the field all day, like from the time the sun came up till the last paintball was shot. Like, you were at the field. And when you were playing or when you were out, maybe you were having a beer, maybe you were just watching games, you're talking to people. And we got away from that for a while because it got so serious for the competition aspect that, hey, you get your games done. You might watch a super important game, but then you want to go back, you want to get cleaned up, clean your gear, have your team meetings, maybe watch some webcasts, do all that. But that takes away from the actual feeling of the event, because it's like a job. You're going in, doing this, and leaving. And younger teams and lower division teams follow our lead, right? So when they see pro teams leaving after they play their games, they do the same thing. So Tim wanted the Iron City Classic and these 10-man tournaments to be more nostalgic than that, and where people wanted to be there all day, have beers, talk to each other, have a party, sit around and watch games. He didn't want it to be finals happening. Oh, now all the other teams lost, they're already gone. No, he wanted people still there. And that atmosphere is what makes that event so special, in my opinion.
Absolutely, dude. And when we got into paintball, like 2000, that time, paintball was a whole different monster. It was crazy. It was cracking. There was so much going on. And I don't think a lot of our listeners really understand that kind of energy that paintball had at that time. It's been 20 years since those times. And you're right, dude. You spent all day at the field. You just enjoyed the nostalgia, the being there with everybody. It was like a big festival. It was like a huge paintball party. It was so much fun.
The old like Angel WDP parties and that stuff. But companies did have their own parties because they made it like you were there still into night. Like
that's right. Something that I actually love about European paintball. For a long time, even in recent years, you be at the events and a lot of the teams stay there, drink beers, have a good time, watch games. But the vendors, also throw parties. They're like, hey, 5 p.m., come by. We're gonna have a beer garden. It's just a really good time. It's a good atmosphere, and you don't have to be drinking beers, but you can be hanging out.
It could be anything. You could be having a soda, but
totally,
it's hanging out with each other. What's
exactly.
important.
That's right. That's right. That's the main thing. And also, like, what 10 Man has done is it's brought in a whole nother demographic of paintball players. What Timmy did is he rebreathed life into paintball and getting everyone who kind of got cut out of this new era back in, because like when I started, we had Bob Long, we had Ron Nelson, we had big body Benzes out there that were running around and they were having fun playing paintball, and it was just a different style. And this new era kind of thing has cut out a certain demographic of people, which this new format of 10 Man has revitalized, and we're getting so many more people back into paintball through it, which is amazing.
Speaking of Bobby Long, I said when we were in Chicago last weekend, we were playing that event. I said, last time I think I watched a game on this field was in 2002, and Bob had about 18 pods on his back. He had his warp feed with his halo on it.
Hell
just
yeah.
ripping.
Dude, that warp feed, that's historic right there.
He loves it. He loves it.
I love that, man. And that's what we need. We need that. We need that history. We need
the sidearms, dude.
Yeah, we need the sidearms. Bro,
Wait,
I'm working on the petition. I have the petition. I have a digital petition, Ryan. I need all of Houston Heat to sign it. I'm going to be sending it to everybody.
I got to hear about it first. We'll see.
So what it is you have a sidearm now in pro paintball. If your gun goes down, something goes wrong, you stuff your gun under your bunker and you can go attack with your sidearm. That's pretty much the gist of it.
I don't hate it.
Yeah. Okay.
But,
there we go. Or if you want to just be super,
I don't think my gun goes down nearly enough to want to carry something extra and dive on. I like the idea behind it.
Yeah.
I like
how about if you just want to have some fun out there and just pull that thing out and go get somebody?
How about when it goes down to like one-on-ones or something at the end? Both people
there
just
we
have
go.
to use their pistols.
There we go.
Real guns out, pistols on.
the sidearm should be used for the one-on-ones.
Yeah.
We could even do 5-on-5s, but everyone just sidearms.
Oh shit.
For the overtime.
That
we
would
can
be
change
tight.
some things. We can make some modifications.
Could you
That's
imagine
amazing.
the moves that would be made in that?
Oh, it'd be insane. It'd be insane.
Dude, I love it. Okay.
People
This
would be
is
tentative
it's
at
evolving.
first, but then once they saw like the openings that were there, you'd be seeing people do some crazy shit.
This is great, dude.
I like
it's getting
it.
better and better.
Evolution right there. It is. Tyler's been, just so you know, when we had Tom Cole on the show, Tyler's been in his ear about this, like literally multiple times a week. He's emailing, okay, what do I got to do to make this happen? I'm like, oh my God, it might really happen.
I will say I'm really impressed with Tom Cole because he runs a hard thing to do with the amount of teams that do it and everything. But
putting
he
up
does
with me.
listen to input. He does listen to input, even when he knows it's not going to be what he wants to hear. Like he'll ask people. He touches around the whole league, and I think that's important. I think he's done a great job on the league, and I don't think a lot of people give him credit. So figured I would right now.
I love that. And Tommy's a great guy, man. Such a great guy.
Oh yeah, such a good company.
I think a lot of the company.
Company.
I think a lot of the divisional players, he doesn't get the credit maybe from them, just because he's the face of the NXL. So if anything goes wrong, they put it on him. But I feel like most of the pros know the good that Tom does, and
I agree completely.
Yeah.
That's a small percentage compared to obviously things you see on the internet and forums and
100%.
On social media.
They're giving it to him.
Mostly the garbage of people that post on stuff like that when you're complaining about things. But sometimes that's all you see for input, right?
These are the people that leave Yelp reviews, to tear down a business.
1 star.
That is also, by the way, Ryan Greenspan. He leaves more Yelp reviews than anybody I know.
Shocking. Real shocking.
I
love it.
Travels enough that it'd be nice to go back and look at your own reviews.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, right. I would like to go and see. Hey, Ryan keeps people honest. He doesn't let you slip up. He makes sure everyone is at their absolute best.
That is true. That is true. He's a pusher. He pushes.
But he's bitter about things sometimes, but he's good.
Oh, Ryan's the man.
No, he's the best.
He's the freaking godfather, dude. Yeah.
I love watching you guys go back and forth. It just reminds me.
Oh yeah, dude. We definitely keep each other in check. It's fun. It's good times.
That's what you have to do, especially with your teammates, especially with people you spend this much time with. If you don't pick on each other, then
that's right. That's what real friends do. They give each other shit and they have fun.
At least in our generation, that's what real friends do. I don't know what they do anymore.
I think Ryan and I, over the last 5 or 6 years since I got on Dynasty, we've traveled so much together to do clinics or whatever it is. you can't just not give each other shit.
No, you have
you
to.
can't. You have to. I think it's kind of like here in California. It's nice if we have a bunch of little earthquakes, so you avoid the big one.
Oh, me and Tim did the same thing. Me and Tim traveled everywhere, played with everywhere, and we bothered each other more than anyone else could bother you, because you were with someone so much that these little nagging things build up, and if you don't release that steam by picking on each other, then you will have a fight occasionally.
For sure.
Yeah,
you just gotta have fun with it. It's a great experience. And dude, I can't even imagine what those were like traveling around with Timmy. He's such a fun guy, man. Like, I'll just never forget at all the tournaments, after the event. And I didn't obviously have as close of a relationship as you guys, but he was just such a bright soul, just a beautiful person. We would always have a brew and just shoot the shit and talk paintball and have some fun. And it's just amazing that we're able to have these types of timeless experiences together,
And I think that's like one of the coolest things that's come out of this. Obviously nothing good comes out of it, but the amount of outpouring and support from the industry is one thing, but hearing all these individual stories about how he touched their lives in a small aspect, and it's just things like that lift you up a little bit when you're having a bad day, you think, and knowing that he put a smile on that many other people's faces. And
I think he's one
because
of the...
honestly, for the last, I don't know how long he's done damage now, 4 years, something like that. We've just played against each other outside of USA and European teams, stuff like that, but we've been playing against each other. And still, when we won World Cup, I mean, he was the first one there to give me a hug and stuff like that. He's there and excited for it. And he's just he was a real dude. I mean, it was
such a real dude.
Honest. He's going to tell you the truth about things. He was intelligent, but it was just real. You knew what you were getting with him. And people like that can make friends with anyone. And that's what I've seen since then. He literally was friends with everyone, even if he saw you in passing or at a tournament or this or that, or
and he's one of the few people in paintball that's ever done that. He touched literally everyone's hearts in paintball in some way, shape, or fashion, whether it was through playing alongside him, against him, through the passing, 10 men, whatever it was. He had such a beautiful impact in the sport. And that's why we're building the statue. That's why he will live on forever. That's why he's going to be a cornerstone. 50 years from now, if the world ends, there's going to be the statue of Timmy. They're going to say that was the god. That was a god.
True.
It's pretty rad, right? A full-size bronze statue. That's pretty cool.
Really rad, dude. That is really rad.
You get that if you're like Mario Lemieux. That's cool.
So
I mean, it's so incredibly deserved, though. And what
100%.
The biggest thing to me is because Tim honestly didn't do stuff for fame. It's not like he was braggadocious about anything. You know, he was very modest. He did it for the love of the game. But I don't think a lot of people really understood what the game actually lost, because he was so integrated behind the scenes in pushing
every aspect
forward in every aspect. It's that to me was such a big loss for the community. But I know, and I'm confident that people will step up, the people around him, and we're gonna carry on.
Here,
everyone will step up.
Right here, exactly.
Everyone always has, and everyone will continue to do so. I mean, there's big shoes to fill, but they'll get filled. I mean, people step up all the time.
That's right. And with the help of us right here in the community, and all of us coming together and just boosting Timmy, his legacy, and the stories and the love that he had for the game, and just everything that we can do to keep his lineage moving forward. Because like you said, we don't understand, how much he did for paintball.
And honestly, I think he left a good blueprint where people can follow in those footsteps. People know how to impact the sport more now, and people want to give more back to it. And I'm seeing that more with players, whether it's in podcasts or clinics they're doing, or just stopping and talking to people, letting them pick their brain. And I think our generation of paintball players is some of the most easily contactable, pretty easygoing people ever. And people should be using that resource, because we're willing to give our input. We're willing to share our knowledge. We're willing to do those things, and not enough people take advantage of that. That too many people, even like you teach a clinic or something, you always have that one or two kids in the clinic who don't listen to anything you say, and they're just like, "Oh, why would I do it that way?" You're like, "Why are you even here?" I don't. If you're so good, I don't. Oh, you just never got your chance. Is that what it is?
I've heard that so many times. Oh, you just never got your chance.
I know, dude.
So there's always you can always learn from someone. I learn I learned from people I played with Cap last weekend with. I learned from
Yeah.
people on my team. I learned from watching games. I learn all the time. If you're not
Yeah.
constantly learning, you'll be stuck in a sandpit, never growing.
That's right.
You have to, because the game evolves, and you have to evolve with it. And you
Yeah.
can be an average player and evolve in an average time frame as
Yeah.
things go along, or you could be the people that set trends. You could be
Yeah.
the original dynasty when they started running and shooting to the 50s off the break. You
Yeah.
can
Right.
be I mean, people have touched this game in so many ways, but in order to set those trends, you have to be at the paramount of that, and you have to be willing to take knowledge from everywhere that you can get it, not necessarily just in paintball, but from anywhere in life, and then
Yeah.
adapt that onto the field.
Dude, that's powerful. You're right. And it's being in the moment, right? It's like soaking up the moment and breathing that air and living that life and being there to be present, to accept those moments, because that's where you get that information at.
And you never know when that moment's going to come, because it could be in a car going to the field, it could be in the overtime point of the finals, but the moment's come, and you just have to be willing to accept it in.
Dude, I love that. That's so powerful. Yeah, the game is everywhere. You just got to be there to accept those moments, man.
It is, though, you know.
It's funny. I really hope the listeners, and again, you know, whether it's coaching teams or clinics we do, you know, we are always being asked the question of how to make it pro, what to do, this and that. And it's funny because I think, you know, you mentioned, Ryan, when you were younger, maybe a little bit cocky. Now it's more confidence, but there's this really interesting fine line that you have to walk, because you need that sort of cockiness and confidence as a young person. You need some ego to be good at a sport. Bottom line, you have to have it. You know, you look at like Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, LeBron, you know, in all sports, the best ones are the ones that do have a little bit of ego, but at the same time, one of the most common things is they are open to learning, and they're constantly trying to learn from everyone around them, you know. And it's never, oh, well, you know, I'm like this badass D1 player. I'm the best at my local field. So like, I don't really know what you could teach me, bro. You know, that's not going to work. You will never be pro or be one of the best with that mentality. I go into stuff, you know, we have, even when we have people on the show, or if I'm teaching clinics with someone else, like I learned from Tyler when we're doing clinics, you know, I'm like, oh, wow. So he must look at the game that way. And, you know, it obviously works for him.
And that's where I learned the
That's
most
a little
too,
nugget.
is understanding how someone looks at the game. Understand what
totally.
their thought process is behind a move or behind something like that. Because as soon as you hear their reasoning behind it, not just watch the move, you watch it happen, you're like, you adapt your own reasoning onto their move. That's not what happened. But once you hear them articulate why they did something, then you are in their mind what they saw at the time and what they're going to try to do based off of that. And sometimes that's helpful to make you better, and sometimes it just has helped you to play against that person, which is also good.
It's like a balance between this ego, like I'm shit, and open to receiving that helpful information. And, you know, because you have to have that confidence. You have to, otherwise you won't be anything. And you have to be confident in yourself, but you also have to be humbled, grassroots, and open to accepting new information. And if you can do that, you can accomplish a lot.
Yeah, where I think the ego is important is instead of looking at someone being like, oh, they're the best player in the world, this is what I want to be, this is what, no, you should always look at that person and be like, I want to be better. I want to be the best I could be, and I want to push the boundaries of things. That's where the ego comes into play. It's not saying I am the best right now, I don't have to do anything. That's the bad kind of ego. It's saying, like, how can I be better than I am now, and how can I be better than anyone's ever been? That's a good ego to have. Not everyone can reach that. Only one person is ever going to reach the best of it, you know? But
until the next person.
Exactly. And then that's the only person that reached it.
It's more of the, I can be the best person.
It's that desire and that deep, like, yearning urge to fulfill that yourself. That's the ego that's good.
To push the envelope, to be the best that we can possibly be,
to not be complacent, you know, to not just look at someone else and be like, oh, they're a great player, to not look down the field and be afraid because you're playing against someone. I've never had that feeling. I've been in bad situations, I've been on worse teams, I've been down a ton of points with not much time. I walk on the field and I don't look down and think anyone's better.
That's it.
Doing this long enough, you should always, and I wouldn't expect you to, or Marcelo to. I would expect everyone who does it to look down the field and be like, hey, this is my time. I'm going to be the best in this point, and that's going to lead me to be the best in this game, and it's going to help me help my team win.
Dude, that's such valuable information for people to hear, dude, because a lot of people step out there and they don't say the right things to themselves. And it's about that self-talk, right? It's about the words that you're feeding yourself. And you've got to have that confidence. You've got to be feeding yourself the right words.
Fear's real, and fear creeps in, you know? Like the good teams rely on that. Like our team does, I'm sure your team does, Impact does, the Russian Legion does. When we go on the field and another team's going to play us, they know they're going to lose.
Yeah.
And because they know they're going to lose, they have a way less chance of winning than they would have had they not thought that. But they can't help but think that. And it's the thing that, and once you have a little bit of doubt, then you make a move a little slower, or you you question your own instincts. And as soon as you're doing that, you have no chance.
That's right. Dude, that's one of the things that Bobby, when I was younger with the Oakland Assassins, dude, those guys were scary. They just scared the shit out of people. And like that was half the battle for them, is they would just step out there and people were like, oh shit, we're playing the Oakland Assassins. We're going to get our asses beat.
It was weird though, because teams back then did it in a way different way. They did it by being mean.
Forceful.
Like beating you up, by just shooting you, by making fun of you. Like,
it was a different day.
Totally.
I liked it. I think it's helped. It has helped us all the time.
Oh,
we gotta,
for sure.
we gotta dive back into that, dude. Let's talk about, your come up to, All Americans in the pro division. Let's kind of dive back in it to your.
We left off. Yeah, we left off at the All A's 2 is where you started that journey, and let's kind of dig back in there.
Yeah, so I guess for the All A's 2, I was gonna go play for like a kind of local, really good amateur team that year called the Highlanders. Like they were always at like the International Amateur Opens and stuff like that. And in 2001, the beginning of 2001, a bunch of All A's 2s left and started Freak Factory, the team.
Oh wow!
Which was another really good amateur A team.
Sounds like a fun one.
It was a good one, but that opened up a ton of spots on the All A's too. So they picked me up directly from there. So I played my first national event. I was 15 years old, played with them, like the Bump Brothers, John and Chris Davis, Graham Easton, just a ton of good guys on the team that were good role models and showed not necessarily just in paintball, but in life with how to approach different things, right? Like, because everyone has their own approach to those things, and I look back at it, they felt old to me then, but they were younger than I am now. But like when you're on a team like that back then, and 10-man especially in the beginning expo, there was one or two other kids on a team, and then a bunch of adults. So you were pretty much a slave on the team. Like you were the whipping boy for sure. Like you were filling all the tanks. I was sleeping in between beds under like the bed runner, like no pillow, using whatever at the beginning. But that's it. That's how your stripes. Maybe you do. Now kids are like, oh, I get shotgun, I get the king bed, I get that room. It's like,
no way, buddy.
That's not how that works.
No way,
Put in
buddy.
your time and earn it, whether your skill or your time, do whatever. But that's how it was back then. And so
you're right.
I did earn it that way, and that helped me in my game for a long time. And I played with All A's 2 until X-Ball started, and then we transitioned to the All Americans. And then,
it seems like there's like, oh God, I don't know what the problem is, but there's like some entitlement going on these days where no, buddy, like you said, when you were young, dude, when I was on Oakland, I got my ass kicked, like legitimately hurt. Like my dad, he's a ranger, so he's a tough dude. And he's like, this is going to be good for you. So he's like, there you go. Have fun out there, but it's like, we have to get over this entitlement thing. We got to really earn our marks. We got to earn our stripes, because nothing is going to be handed out. Nothing's given,
The tricky thing is society has changed. So like bullying, like that was a normal when I was a kid, and being a bully wasn't good, but bullying has its benefits. Like I was bullied some. It toughens you up in some way. You learn about with real life. You don't think everything's going to be given to you. You learn that people are people. So people are good. People are bad.
People are people.
People are just people, right? So whether you're an adult, whether you're 50 or whether you're 10, you have the same. You have good people and shitty people. But people are people. So you're always going to run into these situations again. And if you teach, and if you baby kids and coddle kids at a young age, they don't know how to approach that when they're older and when they're in more serious situations.
Totally.
So I think that you look back, I think we were lucky to have that, right? But I think we got rid of it because bullying is bad, and it is. Like, and you want to help the next generation. You want people to have an easier life, But you look at it the
Mhm.
same way in like Russia as a country, right?
Yeah.
Like they had such hard times in the past that they were such rugged and tough individuals that
Yeah.
the next generation, you go, I want them to have a better life than I had. So you
Of
baby them.
course.
And
Yeah.
then it's cyclical like that because people
Yeah.
never learn because it's not a happy medium. It's like you're either getting everything
Yeah.
given to you and you expect that, or
Uh-huh.
you have to fight for everything and you're getting bullied. And
Mhm.
neither of those are good, but you can learn something from both of them.
Yeah, I feel like we have also made it, I don't know if cool's the right word, but you definitely get more attention for being a victim nowadays,
Yeah.
you know, and it's really easy for people. Look, there's real victims out there
Yeah, exactly.
that are, you know, it's a consequence of some really tragic stuff, but
Mhm.
we're kind of crying wolf on everything these days, you know, and
The real
that's,
victims are
it
the
has a
reason you
harm.
shouldn't cry wolf. It's
Yeah,
Mhm.
exactly.
you're taking away
Exactly.
from those
Yes,
real victims
absolutely.
by claiming
Absolutely.
victimhood on all these minor interactions
Absolutely.
of things.
It just becomes very dangerous. It's a slippery slope, you know,
Mhm.
to, you got to pick and choose what you want to do, because long-term psychologically, um, I don't think we're doing the younger generations any service
Yep.
by babying them, because that is not the real world. As you said, you
Yep.
know, you literally laid it out. There are good people and bad people out there. And so if, from a young age, kids don't know how to push back against conflict and this and
Yep.
that. Now, that doesn't mean that we shouldn't also teach our kids not to be the bully. You know, we
Correct.
should
Correct.
Yeah.
absolutely teach them to be the, you know, the good ones.
Yeah.
Totally.
But if they do get bullied, I know, you know, when I finally have kids, Ty, you have kids, Ryan, I know
Yeah.
you just got married. I don't know if kids are in your future or not, but
Probably in the future. I don't have one yet, though. You know.
but you know,
Yeah.
I know
It's
for
coming,
sure,
baby.
You know it.
if my kid, well, I'll actually just bring it back to my dad. I had an
Yeah.
older dad, you know, he was 80 years old when he passed last November. So an older pops. And I remember I got in a fight in middle school, total fist fight. Wasn't my fault, but I beat this kid up, you know. He started the fight. I beat him up. And the principal, you know, wanted to suspend me, brought my dad in. My dad had come pick me up. We get in the car and I'm thinking like, oh man, I'm in so much trouble. You know, my dad was a hard ass. I got the belt treatment, the whole deal.
Oh yeah.
He goes, did you win the fight? You know, that's what he asked. I'm like, I
Yep.
did. He goes, you didn't start it? I said, nope. He said,
Yep.
good job.
And because
He said
that's
a
what
couple
it should
days
be
ago.
about. It should be about your parents teaching you right morals and stuff. You should have empathy. You should be kind. You should help people. But you should also
That's
be able
right.
to stick up for yourself, and you should be able to stick
Exactly.
up for people
Right.
that need stuck up for.
Right.
And,
Yeah.
and by just by babying people and taking that away, you kind of teach people that doesn't exist. So
Right.
you're hampering them, their ability to get help from other people that wouldn't normally help, because
It's going to
people
hurt
don't
them.
have 100%.
Yeah,
For sure. And of course we have to do the right thing. We have to stick up for the right situations and the right times, and you know, always make sure that we're doing the right thing.
But
But we
that should
don't
be
want
a
to.
personal decision. It shouldn't be the given.
Mhm.
You shouldn't be given everything and just assume that that's the way life is, because that's not the way life is.
Yeah,
Correct.
no, as you found out
Yeah.
playing on the All Americans and coming up,
Yeah.
you know, like, and myself and
But
Marcelo,
they had
we've
my
all.
best interest at heart, right?
That's right.
Yeah,
Like
totally.
when I said
Toughen
like I
you
was a
up.
whipping boy, yeah, like they were toughening me up, and
Exactly.
Well,
and
they
they were
cared
helping.
about you. You know, they
Yeah.
gave you a hard time, but they cared about you, and that's the difference.
Yeah.
Is like there's a way you can do it in a caring way where it benefits them, and yeah, it's not going to
It's
be
all about the
easy.
intentions. It's
That's
the
right.
intentions behind something. It's not
That's right.
necessarily just the actions. It's the
Yes.
whys and the hows that happen.
Totally, dude. It's that intention, and that is so powerful that you said that, because that's what life's all about.
Yep.
Is we all have the intention that we set forward, whether it's in your business, your life, your family, your business, whatever, paintball. It's about setting the right intention and having a pathway that is going to build us up, and sometimes it might be hard and it might be tough, but the intentions are right and it's going to put you on the right track, you know.
Yeah, 100%. And the one thing I think is important for kids to understand, or guys to understand, or whoever to understand, is
Yeah.
that when teammates are trying to approach you with something or help you out with something,
Uh-huh.
their interest is to make you better. They're
Yeah.
not trying
Yeah,
to
that's
beat
a-
you down, right? Like, because
Yeah.
it's not, they're not trying to help you. They're trying to help themselves by helping.
Yeah.
Because you being like,
Totally.
if you're my teammate, Marcelo, and I see you messing up and I approach you, I want you to get better so that you're a better teammate. And then
Right.
we have a better chance
Exactly.
to win.
For
So
sure.
it's a selfish need in some aspects, and
Uh-huh.
in others you're looking out for it. But,
Mhm.
but you should never take that as they're
An
just beating me
attack.
down. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
not an attack.
It's not an attack.
Yeah.
Totally.
That's right.
And a lot of that will come with experience too, because you obviously know that everyone needs treated differently. Like there's some people that
Absolutely.
you need to yell at, and that's how you get the best out of them.
Right.
And there's
Yeah.
other people that you need to coddle a little bit. But that's just about approaching something with a different tone or a different way, asking a question, seeing where they were at before the situation instead of just yelling at them for it.
How great has paintball been for giving you the ability to read people?
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't imagine something better.
Same.
I
Same.
really couldn't.
It's honestly made me so much better at just understanding what people need, and how you need to approach and talk to people. I think I'm sure a lot of sports are like that, honestly.
Yeah.
When you have teammates in that brotherhood, you really learn what makes people tick, and you're like, I can't really explain this to this player this way. He's not going to get it that way. I gotta, it's got to be.
Well, and also I think that people that haven't played sports, they feel attacked a lot easier.
Yes. Oh,
you know
yeah.
what I mean? Like you
Yes.
can't even hardly say anything without them feeling like, oh my God, I'm getting attacked. Where it's like, no, man, I'm trying to help. It may come off like I'm being a little pushy or whatever, but I'm just trying to help here. We got to get this train
We're trying
going
to
in the right.
condense all this information and fix all these things in a matter of seconds.
Yeah,
Sometimes there's not all the time to put all the extra padding around it.
That's right. Yeah. So sports is a really special thing because it gives us the opportunity to have conversations that you wouldn't have in normal life. We're able to have these maybe difficult conversations and the tones may be a little bit more heightened. There's a little bit more energy and zest behind it all, but it allows us to have more layers. And we're so fortunate to have paintball because not only are you getting pelted to pieces with these things and it's a brutal sport, but you get to build these brotherhoods and have these crazy conversations and really, live life loud. And it's one of the very few things that we're able to live as loud as we want to.
Yeah.
We're so grateful. I know it's just like, I couldn't believe, how long we've been playing this. You've been playing over 20 years. We've all coming up on this 20-year mark and we're just so grateful to.
I'm at 21 years. I've been playing for 21 years, dude. 1999 is when I started.
97 was when I started.
Damn,
and people always ask me, they're like, oh, when do you want to be done? When are you going to be done?
Never.
That's the strangest question to ask someone. My answer is always the same. I'll be done when I'm not good enough to play anymore, right? Like at a high level, but I still won't be done doing it.
Exactly. I was just going to say.
Right? But people are like, when is it time to be done? When's this? It's like you have to put a time frame on something, which is just absurd to me because it's like, if you're enjoying doing it and you're still good at it and no one's pushing you out, why would you ever stop doing something you love just to do something else that you might not like as much?
Yeah, even if you suck at it, if you're having fun, keep doing that.
Fun's what matters. For 99.999% of people, it's fun.
Exactly.
It doesn't matter how good you are, or how bad you are.
Dude, that's such a huge thing in life in general. Is like people are always trying to get other people to do things that seem right or that fit the status quo or fit in the box and like this is how it should be. No, man, what makes you happy? What really makes you happy? What makes your heart sing? Okay, keep doing that. Keep doing that. Do as much of that as you possibly can because that is going to fill your cup up and that's going to keep you going. If you try to fit these status quos, you're going to drive yourself insane. It's
that's
just
one
the
thing
way
Tim always said too, and that's how he lived his life.
Dude.
Yes,
that's how we all lived our life because we made decisions that have hampered some aspects, but we did it because what we love doing. We did it because you don't have to live a traditional life to be successful anymore. You can do it in 1,000 different ways.
Dude, God bless him, man. And that's what it's all about right there is like, be you. What makes you happy? Let's do that. Let's keep enjoying ourselves. Let's keep having fun. If it's paintball, if it's whatever, if it's riding bikes or I don't care what it is, enjoy yourself, have fun out there.
Yeah, I do think that that's something that Tim really understood well was success is not solely about how much money you make. It's about the friendships, the experiences, and he lived it to the fullest, man. He really did. And actually, that's over the last, I want to say like 4 years when he started going to Australia to all those events over there. You've been out there, Ryan, you know how it is. You're at the field like all day, and the Americans kind of congregate and you become friends with, there's been players that go over there that I never talked to in the States. They've just been rivals the whole time. And then all of a sudden we're, on a 17-hour plane ride away from home base. And it's just you guys, you're at the field and you become good friends. Tim and I had so many amazing conversations every event, go out, have some beers. We really, really, started to build a little bit of a friendship in that regard. And man, that was just his favorite thing to do, you know, and it was so inspiring because it was always, he had story after story after story of where he was going next, where he was just coming from. I feel like I fly a lot, you know, I travel a lot, and there were times I'm like, Jesus, Tim, you're still going, you know, and you're going to be going again. And it's like, man, you know, the guy just truly lived and died by his philosophy of grabbing life by the horns, man, and just enjoying it.
And he had obviously a lot of opportunities to make money outside of paintball, do stuff like that. But he understood, like you said, that money's not everything.
Exactly.
All those things that we do, the traveling, the friendships, the connections, those have value too. Like they don't have the necessary monetary value that's put on it, but they have
spiritual
a
value,
innate value. And like you would have to pay a lot to have those same experiences.
Exactly.
So
well,
like, just because you don't get it in cash, it doesn't mean that it's not a valuable thing to have.
Totally.
That's right.
Dude, I say all the time. Sorry to interject real quick.
No worries.
Honestly, there's stuff that we get to do that I don't care how much money you have, you actually can't buy it. You can't buy it. You can't buy the experience with a family in Southeast Asia that shows you around like a true local, or like you can't do it, you know? And
like you could get lost anywhere in the world without with an internet connection, no money, and you could get help right now.
Yeah, absolutely.
Dude,
you know what I mean?
If you were to add up
real people with real friendships care about you.
Yeah,
that's right. And like to tie it all together, like, yeah, sure. If you were to tally up all those dollar bills and like really bring that on, if you tallied up all the paintballs, the flights, we've spent millions of dollars on all these different things. You know what I mean?
If you incorporated flights, hotel, and, you know, per diem or whatever food and stuff into our stuff.
Yeah.
I'm making bank, baby. Yeah, we're rich. We're definitely well above six-figure salaries, you know?
Yeah, dude. So we're so fortunate.
I've talked to like different NFL players and stuff, and they've asked like just because they're interested in when they hear about what we do and stuff, and they think it's cool. But like they don't ever get to travel. They don't get to do that. They make a lot of money doing the thing they do, but it's such a smaller scale in some aspects. When they hear like all the places we travel and the things we're able to do, they're like, wow, it's crazy. Like they just started traveling to London maybe once every couple of years, like 17, and they think that's the coolest thing for them. So like the amount of times we get to do these trips is important. And one thing that we always tried to do, Tim and all of us, around like when we had a tournament somewhere and we didn't try to just go in, get the tournament done and come home. Like you're already over there. You already had the flight. You already traveled halfway across the world. Take an extra 2 days. Like if you could take enough time to be gone for the 10 before that, find a way to take the extra 2 days and do something outside of paintball. Like experience the local culture, see the local sites, and do those things. Because early in my paintball career, I really didn't do that. I mean, I played paintball, I went to places, and I was gone. But ever since probably like the early 2000, like mid 2000, 2005 or so, every trip we did, we tried to stay somewhere, go see something we didn't see. And sometimes that would be something that was out of Tim's comfort zone. Like he was a city guy. He wasn't huge in outdoors, but like he would go places and hike with us because we wanted to. And then the next time we'd go to a city that he wanted to see, and we would just go back and forth. And you find your group of people that you care about. You want to spend time outside. You're not forced to spend the time with them. You want to spend this time with them, and you cater to each other's needs. And by that, you open up more windows and more opportunities for yourself, because you can experience all these things and learn other things you like and learn things you don't like and learn about yourself and how you deal with situations. And
dude, can you kind of
real quick, Tim probably didn't want to go hiking outdoors with you because you like to hang off cliffs 2,000 feet above the
heights don't scare me, but
dude, that picture was insane. I think I like messaged you on that a long time ago. I'm super afraid of heights.
I had a few like that. One we were in Norway, the same trip, but on a different one, the Preacher's Pulpit one. I think they had like a scene in like Bond or Mission Impossible where he's climbing up and stuff. But we hiked up that day. And there's all these Boy Scouts there. It was like a Boy Scout convention. They're all sitting. And I was like, well, I want a picture hanging off this thing. Like,
oh my God.
So I was like, I'm going to hang off. I caught to the edge. I hang. And like Tim and I think, who else was there? I think like Justin Cornell and stuff. They were on like way away so they could get the picture. And as soon as I hung, it was like 300 people just like, and just silence. I was like, no, I'm not killing myself. I'm just hanging. I'll be right back, guys. Don't worry about
it. So hold on. So kind of paint a visual for me on what's going on here.
Yeah, if you look up ever the
Enjoy.
preacher's pulpit in Norway, it's like
Yeah.
this flat, like kind of rectangular shelf that's like maybe like, I don't know, 1,000 meters up in the air, something like that, and then it's just
Oh.
straight down into a fjord because like
Yeah.
they just have these amazing like pure vertical limestone walls that are just
Wow.
crystal clear. I don't know. I just wanted a picture. I don't even know where that picture is. That's lost on some 3 gigabyte
Yeah.
Canon horrible camera.
Yeah,
But
dude.
the
Insane.
experience was good. Now
That's
the
right.
other one with the rock stuck between the two mountains in Norway, that was actually kind of scary jumping on. I'm
Oh,
not afraid
God.
of heights, but I
Yeah,
was like,
'cause
it's
I
rounded and it was kind of sandy.
I
Oh,
asked
boy.
you because I was in Norway and I was gonna go do
Yeah.
that, and we didn't end up doing it because of weather conditions. But honestly, I don't think I would have been able to. I think I would have done the whole hike, got
Yeah.
there, and then not done it, which would have.
You
Dude.
could have walked down on it, but yeah, you're careful, slowly.
I
Dude,
don't know,
Ryan's
it's
got
3,000 straight down.
Yeah,
Dude.
that's.
Ryan's
I
got
just,
balls of fucking brass, dude.
The funniest thing about that place too is I wanted to be on it, get a picture on it naked, right? Like, but I didn't know how many people are going to be up there. You go up and it's just like loaded with people that have just
Yeah.
like 4 hours to go see this thing.
Of course.
And this one guy, I was talking to like Justin, and he was trying to convince me to do it. And there's one dude overheard, just like a dude with his family. He's like, "Whatever, it's Europe. Who cares?"
Yeah.
We've said that for my entire life when I'm over there. Who cares? It's Europe. We can do it. I was like, "Yeah, right." Took my pants off, went right on.
Boom.
No way. You went
There
out
you go.
naked. Oh man, dude.
Dude,
I had
that's
that
living.
picture up on Facebook once too, and then I got my account suspended. I think. It's just a butt.
Really?
It's just a butt. How many butts? Who cares?
Yeah, it's a little
They put
cheek
butts in,
action.
like PG movies.
Yeah, I know. Come on. Let him live a little.
That's
Dude,
The
that's
censorship
amazing.
is real.
Yeah, it
is
is.
real.
Especially
Censorship is
more than
real.
ever these days, huh?
If I was a girl, that'd be okay.
Yeah,
probably.
right.
Would've been
I
okay.
mean,
I think
geez.
so. Yeah.
So what was dude,
I-
I want to hear another, like, what's another one of the top stories that you and Timmy shared together?
Man, we've had a ton of, just too many stories to count, really, because like I
Yeah.
spent in the last 20 years, I spent more time with him than any person on this earth. So
Mm.
we traveled every like country pretty much. Like we've been to every continent except for Antarctica together, and we planned on going to Antarctica together.
Yeah.
We just had to
Wow.
figure out time and place to do it,
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
so I have
we
a
still
ton of
gotta
stories,
go.
but
We got to
there's
do it now more than ever, you know?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
It's not
Yeah.
cheap though, and it doesn't
No,
look fun
yeah.
at all.
Yeah. Just
But
gotta
I got
check
a
it
ton
off.
of
So I'm like, I've been to every continent as
Yeah.
well, other than Antarctica. You know.
Yeah, we should
Yeah.
make a whole
Dude.
final checklist.
Hell
That'd be
yeah.
tight.
See how
I
many
say we
people
do
to
it.
get a whole boat down from the
I'm
tip of
in.
South America.
Dude, I'm in. Sign
I'm
me
in.
up.
We'll
Sure.
figure it out. We'll figure
Honey,
it out.
I'll be home in a few weeks. Yeah.
You're like,
let's
I'm
go
going
have
to
some-
Antarctica. You don't want to come.
Yeah.
It's gonna be awful.
Yeah.
No, but a couple of stories that would like stick out. Running with the bulls, we did that together, and I think
Oh,
like
whoa.
experiences where your life's actually in danger, like you kind of
Yeah.
bond with people a little more. And it's one of
Totally.
those things, like not many things like scare me, but like
Dude, Yarber told us about his little running of the bulls
Oh,
thing.
yeah.
Oh man.
messed
it's
up.
terrifying. And he
Yeah.
got messed up at a
Something
place in
else. Yeah,
France,
exactly,
but
yeah.
like messing around with this small bull beforehand. He's like,
Rocked
I do not
him.
want to deal with it. I remember him coming, his like shoulder was all bandaged up or wherever it hit him.
Oh man,
Yeah.
dude.
But like
Yeah.
I remember sitting there, and the whole time we were there, we're like, okay, no matter what, we're gonna get there and we're gonna be completely sober for the morning we run with the bulls, because it's like a 2-week thing. Every day they run with the bulls, and then later that night the bulls that ran like do bullfights.
Oh wow.
And this city is only has like 70,000 people normally, and then for Pamplona it has 2 million people for these 2 weeks. Like, so it's just littered with
What?
people everywhere, and everyone's wearing the exact same clothes. Your
Yeah.
white pants, your white shirt, your red bandana, and that's it. So 2 million people in a city that holds 70,000 just partying the
Whoa.
whole time, right? We were not able to be sober when we ran. It was close.
Yeah, it was a
Didn't quite
close
make it
one.
to that. And
Yeah,
I
you guys were
sitting-
at like a 0.1. It was supposed to be a 0.8, you know.
Yeah, I don't know exactly where we were. But well, we were standing there, and they kind of like gate you in, right, into this little square, like before, and then eventually they open it up, and then they let you kind of like walk a little bit, and then they shoot a firework off, and then the bulls run, right? So
Oh,
we're all
God.
cornered in, and there was like 5 of us. It was Greg Sewers, me, Sam, Chad, and then our other buddy, Tim, and then one of our other buddies, Chad.
Yeah.
And he looks at me and goes, I don't think I can do this.
Oh.
And I was like, then you should leave, because you could die doing this.
Yeah.
Like this
Dude.
is like one thing I was like, no one's gonna make fun of you for not doing this. It's literally dangerous. Like it's not something it's not like, oh, you're on a roller coaster, you'll be fine. Like
Yeah,
you're
exactly.
buckled in, you're fine.
Right.
So
You
he
got
left.
horns chasing you.
We made plans like which bar we were gonna meet at after to make sure everyone's okay. Because once you start running, it's kind of
lose everyone.
and you lose
Yeah.
each other, right? And everyone said like it's real hard to get into the stadium, but if you run like the whole thing without like all the bulls passing you, then you can get into the stadium, and like the whole stadium's packed with people, and they release these little like juvenile bulls, which are still probably 800-900 pounds.
Jeez.
And like you're messing around with those in the stadium with people just like cheering the whole time.
Whoa.
So we're like, we want to get into the stadium, right?
Yeah.
The fireworks go off, we take off, and the day we ran ended up being like one of the most dangerous days that they've had for it. Like
my God.
this dude wrote like How to Survive Pamplona Running with the Bulls. It ran in it like 15 times. Got gored that day that we ran. Because I guess the safest way is the bulls stay together. That's ideal situation, right? As soon as one bull kind of singles itself out, it's way more dangerous because they get more spooked. They start like goring people, throwing them over these fences. And these streets are cobblestone. They're super narrow, and the doorways, some of them are just flush with the walls, like brick walls, like a 12-foot wide road, and that's it. And some there's like a 6-inch doorway you could kind of creep into, right? So you don't want to be in a bad situation. And people are panicking, pushing each other. Like people are in like fight or flight mode.
Yeah.
So we run, and whatever happened, for whatever reason, that one bull got ahead of everyone in our group. And then the rest of the bulls split into 2 different groups. So there was like 3 separate groups of bulls just messing people up. So like I jumped out in between like kind of the second and third, the 2.
Dude, how are you feeling at this? Like, what's going through your head right now?
Pure adrenaline, right? Like me, Chad, and Greg were like, we're definitely gonna run together. Like let's just run together. Lost them in like 5 seconds. It might have been the fastest I've ever ran them out. Don't know where they went. Don't know. And your heart is just thumping. It's pure adrenaline. Like you can like see clearly. It's like one of those like weird amount of adrenaline in you. So we're running, and I get to the point where it's like Dead Man's Corner, which is like it's like a little more than a 90-degree turn that goes uphill, and it's the most dangerous because they wash it down, it gets wet, but the bulls will be running, and they'll lose their footing on the cobblestones and like slide into this fence at this 90-degree corner. So they're like, hey, no matter what happens, go to the inside of this corner. No matter what happens. So like that's going through my mind the whole time. Hey, don't go to the outside, Dead Man's Corner. I don't want to die. So I'm running up. The inside of Dead Man's Corner has like a pile of like 50 people piled up. I was like, well, I got to go to the outside. And there were so many people piled up from that first bull that went through and just wrecked some people that like there was no getting by that way. It actually slowed down the group of bulls that I was running behind, and I kind of got pinched in between these 2 groups.
Oh my God.
I like stopped by the one, hit it with like my newspaper. I was like, get a little newspaper swatter. And then they kind of took off, jumped over some people, and just took off again, right?
Whoa.
I get into the stadium. I'm looking around. I was like, I don't know if any of my friends
You made
are
it.
alive.
You made it
into
into the stadium. Oh my
I
God.
don't know if my friends are alive. I can see in like HD. It's like looking through like a yellow lens. Like you just can smell good. You can hear good. You can see like you're like, the best you've ever seen. You're like, I'm alive.
Yeah.
I'm alive.
Right?
Yeah.
So finally I wander around, find Greg and Tim. Then find Chad, and so the 4 of us made it into the stadium. We look up on the screen, and we're like watching like some highlights from our run that they're playing on the board. And this dude that looked identical to Sam was getting stretchered out into the ambulance. We're like, Sam might be a goner. I don't know. And like he didn't make it into the stadium, and him and Yaya, because like they just got hit with this stick by these bull trainers and like got the gate closed in front of them for whatever reason. But it ended up not being Sam. Sam met our other buddy who also saw that video and thought Sam was hooped. But we ended up all meeting each other after we played with his little bulls, and it was a good experience, but it was terrifying.
Dude, that's the thrill right there. Oh my gosh.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, from between that story and Yarber's story, no thank you.
Yeah, I know. I've always done the same thing. I was supposed to go with you guys on that exact trip.
And
I was like, I'm good. I think I don't
as
know
scary
why.
as it was, and as much as I feel no need to ever do it again.
Yeah,
I was happy I did it. It was one of the coolest things I've done in that aspect, because it's like,
of course,
so unique and and it's scary and stuff. Like lots of times I was like, the only way I'll ever do this again is if I'm there and like someone who hasn't done it, like one of you guys, if I was there with you and you guys, so I want to run, but I don't want to do it by myself, I would do it again. But I'd be terrified again.
Yeah,
dude, that's
of course. It's wild.
That's life in HD right there. That's a one-time deal, you know.
But those are the kind of things Tim did, like when, even though that's out of his comfort zone, because
he's experiencing life to the fullest, and that's what is so beautiful about paintball. And like you said, even you've got top level pro athletes in the NBA, NFL who are kind of succumb to being locked into America kind of for a whole season, where they only get these spruce little opportunities to go out and do these types of things, whereas we are able to travel around the world and do a bunch of these fun things and live life to the fullest. And you know, like you said, take that extra day, take that extra 2 days, live it up, enjoy yourself, you know, and
try something new. Don't do the same thing you've always done. Eat new food, try new things, do new things, see new places. That's get out of your comfort zone. That's good. That's how you get to expand your comfort zone.
That's right.
Like the one trip Tim planned for us, we went to Alaska in January, just because we wanted to see the Northern Lights. We also I've never been in this kind of climate. And like when we were there, it ended up averaging negative 45 degrees. The coldest it got was negative 53 degrees the morning we left, right?
Oh my God.
So
I don't even know what that means.
It's like, how you know, because at like negative like 30 some, like Fahrenheit and Celsius are the same. So like it doesn't even matter. It didn't matter which way I told you. It's so cold. You go outside, you take a breath of air right through your nose, you feel your nose hairs crystallizing, and that's not a joke. You feel them crystallizing. You have to make sure you're blinking so your eye ducts can like you like freeze up. Like there we were gonna just immerse ourselves in this miserable temperature and do like
Please tell me you guys got an igloo.
We stayed in a yurt with just a fireplace. Like,
dude, tell me what a yurt is. I need to know. What is
a yurt's basically like, it's like a frame tent kind of. They're always circular and they have like a latticing around, and then they're like tarps around that. So it's just like a circular kind of structure. And ours was pretty nice. It had a bed and a fireplace, and it had like an outhouse that we had to use in negative 50-degree weather.
Oh my God.
How did that happen? Would you take a pee and it just freezes midair and you have to break it off of your penis?
Funny story about this. We kept wondering, because like you had to get dressed like you're going out in space, kind of like when you left, because you're like, well, I gotta button up, I gotta wear all these layers, like I don't want to die, like right. And like we're going out and using the restroom stuff, coming, and Tim kept going like real quick, and I was like, I don't know how he's getting in and out so quick. The next day we go, whole side of our yurt, pissicles, just pee, just frozen. I'm like, what did you do? He's like, I didn't do that. We all did that. I went, no one else did that. We had to scrape it all off before we checked out.
That's funny,
dude. What a guy!
But like
pissicles.
I was like, man, that's no good. You look like the dog sled dogs over there,
bro. So how long could you survive in that kind of temperature? I mean, you can't be outside for long in that.
We were out there for a good bit of time. Sometimes we went dog sledding, we went cross country skiing, we hiked around, went to like some hot springs and stuff. You can spend some time. You just got to layer up.
Exactly.
You not get wet. It was a dry cold. Dry heats are good, right? Dry cold.
You get wet, you're toast.
Damn, dude, that's crazy.
Wild, man.
I've always wanted to go there
too, because like they were so hot. Like my body temperature would just raise, and like once mine does, it kind of stays up for a little bit. So like from the hot spring to like this other place we were staying, like I would just go in my shorts and like my big boots and stuff, and like all these like Asians would come to get pictures. They're like, how are you? They're like, thank you. I don't understand. They're like bundled up like the kid from Christmas Story. Like, you gotta roll them down.
Dude, you don't wear elbow pads.
That's right, bro.
I mean, I would have been freezing had my body temperature not been like 100 and something.
Yeah, dude.
It's crazy.
We're talking about fucking Captain America.
Captain America,
baby.
you're right.
Let's
We totally are. My favorite thing too is in 2018 when you won the event MVP at World Cup. You not only had no elbow pads, but you rolled your sleeves up like the working.
Let them know.
Let them know. I got no pads under here, baby. What's happening?
So two things with that. The tricky part is when you don't wear pads, the sleeves come up real easy. It's annoying to pull them down over and over again. But the basketball sleeves kind of some resistance on them, keeping them down. But I played that European event and I just forgot those, so I just was without sleeves. So they just stayed up the whole time. And then I was like, I kind of like playing like this.
Yeah.
And I tried to do it at Cup, and I did it for a little bit, and then they told me it was illegal in the NXL, and I couldn't do it.
Oh, come on.
Oh, what a party bus.
I was like, why? They're like, well, it's you just can't have your skin showing there. I was like, it hurts if you get shot. Like, like it's no good. Like,
It makes
no
sense.
one else is going to be doing this.
If you get shot on the elbow and then your sleeve comes down, you know, you cover it. You know?
Oh, that's fair game, baby.
If it was like a pair of shorts or a loose sleeve, I would agree. But it's a jersey that's pulled on taut.
That's fair game, baby. That's fair game.
I like playing like that. But
I know. I loved it, dude.
My forearms are probably happy that they don't allow me to do this up anymore, because for whatever reason, the scratches and stuff are fine. But when you get shot in your arm without, even if it's just the jersey you have covering it, if you get shot in your arm without that, it's like hitting a tuning fork. That's what your arm bones feel like sometimes. You're like, oh my God, that is awful.
It gets all the nerves
and swells up. So it's not.
It is amazing how even just a layer, just one layer of cotton,
just enough,
it makes a huge difference. It really, for sure.
It's strange. I was surprised when I figured out how much of a difference it made to that.
Well, shoot. We keep getting off on tangents, and it's amazing. That's what the show is about, dude. That's the best part of the show, actually. But I kind of want to dive back into. I don't think we got quite to when you got picked up on Philly to play pro, and also how you met Tim. You know, your first encounter with Tim.
Yeah.
So I had seen Tim and stuff before, because he played on Entitlement Effect and when they were AMB, and I was playing AMA. And then
that's right. I forgot about that.
I didn't know he was on Entitlement Effect.
For a while. Like the Entitlement Effect had a lot of good players. Like Fatty was on Entitlement Effect, Tro was on Entitlement Effect. A couple of the other guys that went on to Evil Factory. So they had a pretty solid squad back then. But so I'd seen him around, stuff like that. And then in 2004, he played with Detroit Thunder, and I knew, all the pro teams then. I mean, there's only 10 to keep track of. So knew him there. And as soon as he was on Philly, I think I met him for the first time in Mardi Gras that year, like personally. Philly actually left him, just forgot about him, and dinner without him. So he came and was hanging out with me and Jason Edwards, and we became friends from then on. He actually considered leaving and coming to play with us. But the event, LA was 2 weeks or 3 weeks after Mardi Gras at that time.
Yeah,
we ended up staying with them. But
what year was this? Sorry, Ray.
That was 2004, the beginning of 2004 Mardi Gras. Yeah,
I think that was the last Mardi Gras.
That was the one where it flooded. All the fields got flooded. It was crazy.
That's all Mardi Gras.
Yeah, it did. I think that was my first pro tournament. Actually,
was that pretty wild. Pomona, I think that Pomona event was worse for water, though.
Yes.
Dude,
at least on the
and we were playing at nighttime too.
Yeah, oh yeah.
That was crazy under the lights.
And 25-minute halves and stuff like that. So it's a war of attrition. It wasn't just hey, going out for 7 points. It's going to be 14 minutes. This is going to be awful. No, you're I'm going to be out here for an hour. I could barely walk. The teams that did good there weren't dirty, because you couldn't dive and do good that event. You were playing in 2 feet of mud. Russians did good, and I think Ironman did good that event, and their jerseys were clean. All the other teams just looked like swamp monsters, because the pro field was thick, clay mud. I looked at some of the division fields, and they had rivers running through them, which also didn't look that ideal. But it was way better than mud.
I was playing Division 3 that event with Aftermath. That was my first national event. We won, but I remember in the Snake there was absolutely a river. It was
a river.
If you dove into the Snake, you were under. I swear it was. If you were crawling, you were underwater. Yeah. No joke. If you were crawling, you were underwater. Yeah. Like your whole body underwater.
Yeah. That's how the divisional fields were. But for whatever reason, the pro field was just 2 foot in mud. Just awful. But we played on a lot of adverse conditions before. You remember Malaga when all the nets came down because of that cyclone or whatever came through.
That was fun though. The event got
that was fun. But remember when we were playing still, and then the water, if you played the Snake on the one field, the water was on the field.
Coming up.
The waves, there was no nets over
the
there.
ocean.
It crashed. Yeah, the ocean.
So
the Mediterranean Sea was
Malaga was dope. Real quick, Malaga was dope. It was their version of Huntington Beach. The event, the fields were right on the sand.
It was fantastic.
And they had turf right on the sand. It was amazing. But what Ryan's talking about,
they had a castle overlooking the beach with the sand, with the Mediterranean.
Yeah, dude, I was in the air to come to that tournament and play with the Joy Division, with Stockholm Joy Division, and the damn volcano erupted. They turned my plane around. I had to go back home. I was bummed.
So Tim was actually, I was playing with Coming At You that year. And Tim was coaching us, and he had to stand. He had got boots on and just stood in the Mediterranean Sea to coach because you can still coach, like yelling coaching, not like X's and O's coaching.
Yeah.
He was in the Mediterranean Sea coaching me when I was playing in a snake. I'd look over, oh, he just looks wet.
Yeah, dude.
Waves
Dude.
crashing at his
And
back.
we
Talk about a best friend, huh?
Yeah, we got
Jeez.
super lucky that event too, because we already had planned a trip to Morocco. So we took a boat over to Morocco. We were there for like 5 days and then came back, and people were still stuck in Malaga at the same
that's
hotel
right.
because of the volcano smoke.
Yeah.
Like it turned out to be, if I would have made it in there, I was still in doing college and stuff. I would have been screwed for school.
Oh yeah. I've been there. I finished my college degree when I was playing on Impact, and there's definitely times where you're like, oh man, I don't know if it's gonna work out so good. You always find a way though.
That's right.
Always find a way. Gotta play the game, you know?
Play the game.
And speaking of bad, play the game.
But
speaking of pretty adverse condition fields, like Amsterdam was pretty bad last year too.
Dude, Amsterdam was really bad.
That was like
so cold.
It was cold and real like a thin mud.
Yeah.
So it was like just the whole day. I just remember like
Soppy.
I don't get too cold. I remember shivering like the whole time.
Me too.
That was amazing.
And there was bees out there too. There were bees.
There were bees.
I didn't see any bees. I don't know.
You didn't see my pictures of getting stung in the neck on Sunday?
No.
Are you kidding me, Ryan?
Swear to God.
Dude,
bro.
So
this guy got worked over by a bee.
We're playing our
Mud
first
bees?
game.
A mud bee.
Dude, it's just so funny how things work too, because we're playing our first game Sunday morning, and in our pit there's this bee like flying around, and it kind of it keeps landing on people. And I think Charlie, from the Kings, was like, "Oh, kill that thing!" And I was like, "No, leave him be. Leave him be. He's fine." And he was
speaking of, congrats on your guys' win.
Yeah,
thank you,
Charlie, on the Golden State Kings.
Yeah, for sure, man. It was a crazy event, dude. Again, with how cold it was just those are the events where if you win, they're the best ever. But when you don't, you just want it for you. It's the worst event of your career. But anyway, so I saved this bee's life. Charlie was gonna kill it. I said, no, just leave him be, right? I'm going to get ready for the first point, and I'm putting my pack on. And you guys know what you do. Like when you put your pack on, you kind of put your jersey under your chin so that you can, strap it appropriately. Exactly.
The players who are all tight down, I don't get it. I can't.
Yeah,
I know.
Weird. I don't get that either. So anyway, as soon as I bring my neck down, I just feel this crazy sting, and he stings me right in the neck. My throat, my whole area swelled up so bad. Ryan, I'm going to send you a picture. It's for 2 weeks. I'm not kidding. I had the biggest.
It's a tender spot.
It looked like I gained. I swear, it looked like I gained 150 pounds. It was so funny. We were in the.
I can't believe I never knew that.
Dude, I can't believe it either. I was
poor guy.
The whole event with this. The biggest chin. But
the poor guy's kind of allergic to him too, so it's kind of sad.
I get really bad local reactions. But it was funny because right before the finals, we're playing the Russians, but it's freezing and everyone's on a break, so we would all go into the food tent because they had those heaters in there.
Oh yeah.
And I'm sitting in there, and Karslev comes up to me and he goes, "Bro, you gain weight, bro?" I swear to God. And I just started laughing, and I'm like, no, dude, fuck. I got stung by a bee.
Speaking of
I was
Karslev,
on so much Benadryl. That whole
his neck didn't look that good that event either. So Carson looked pretty bad.
What happened?
Did he get shot in it?
Yeah, I shot him, but this is kind of a funny story.
Boy.
So we had some pretty bloody back and forth games with the Russian Legion last year, especially in Europe, right?
You guys
but we had this one where like I ran down, like had to win like a real quick point, ended up like shooting pretty close to the neck. Forgot it even happened, right?
Yeah.
I see him like from far away, like the next day, and I thought he had a neck tattoo. Like it was so purple. And I was like, what is on your neck? He's like, yeah, bro, that was you. I was like, oh, sorry. But I was like serious. I thought it was a tattoo. I looked.
You didn't even know.
I had no idea. Because when you're doing stuff, you're just trying to win.
That's it. Yeah,
you're not paying attention to where you're shooting people.
Shoot and move, babe.
I'm sorry, man. It's like, oh, that's real ugly looking. I'm sorry about that.
Those are some of the most brutal. Getting shot right in the Adam's apple and the neck and stuff is just brutal. And then obviously getting shot in the groin and all that. Those are the worst. And the
tip of the penis.
Oh,
is way
bro.
Worse than the ball even. At least the ball pain goes away. Like it's excruciating, goes away. The tip just kills you.
It'll take you out.
I would rather get shot in the tip than in the balls.
I thought the same thing, but I don't know. Like if you get a good one.
Oh, bro.
You had a good one,
Dude.
yes.
Yeah,
Dude,
there's been a couple brutal ones where it's just like, yeah, it's debilitating, you know. It's like,
Yeah.
oh my God,
I
get me
snuff
out of
with a
here.
cup,
Haul
man.
me
You gotta
out.
protect. You gotta
Haul me
protect
out.
those
I
things.
don't have anything. I don't even wear underwear when I play. So like sometimes it
What?
gets down to a situation. I kind of
Bro.
I'm like, oh man, this is getting a little scary.
You just wear your paintball pants. I forgot about that. That's something.
No
Dude,
socks,
you are a
no
lunatic,
socks, no
bro.
underwear.
Get out
No
of here.
socks. Hold on. No socks. No underwear. No
Yeah.
pads.
Like an F1 car, man. You got to shave weight, shave ounces.
Dude, you're out of control, Ryan. You're done. You're out
Well, I
of
quit wearing
control.
underwear in real life, right? So
Yeah,
I
there we
kept
go.
I kept a couple pairs for paintball. And I was
Yeah.
like, I don't even know why I'm bothering.
Yeah,
with
what
these.
am I
don't
doing
need
here?
this. And then I gave
Dude.
it up, and it's been good.
But what
That's
about your
hilarious.
cleats? You don't get blisters?
No, the Nikes are sweet.
Yeah, he's got good cleats. They have socks built in, little sock.
You have little
careful.
socklets built in.
Yeah, yeah. Dude,
Nice
that's
plug.
amazing.
Nice
All
plug.
right, so let's dive
Right,
back in,
pretty good.
bring us back in full circle, where we left off with your lineage of you met Timmy, Titman effect, and then kind of dive back into your story there.
Yeah, so like I said, I met Tim really when we became friends was that first event he played on Philly and Mardi Gras, and we hung
Yep.
out because those guys left him and didn't take him to dinner, so he just hung out with like me, I think Aaron Tholey and Jason Edwards, and
Dude, shout out to
a couple
Tholi.
of the other guys. Oh yeah, it was good
Yeah.
seeing him last weekend too.
I know, that was great.
But yeah, we just and then
And
he had
sorry,
moved
1
out.
second. Congratulations on the win, by the way.
Oh, thank
Cap
you. I
Factory,
appreciate that. Yeah,
ICPL.
it was a good time. We had to make up for it for the year before. We played pretty awful, so when
Yeah.
everyone thought we were a super team and we didn't do so good, so
Yeah.
it was nice coming and redeeming
happens.
ourselves a little bit, and
Yeah,
just cool playing with some of the guys and like
dude.
seeing JP again, and like
Yeah,
just his energy was just as contagious now as it used to be. Just so happy, so fun.
Yeah.
Brandon Lambertson was having a great time. Like
yeah.
obviously Glenn Forster was a good player for so long, was there.
Mhm.
Like we had Rodney, Dave, like we had a really
Yeah.
cool team. Like first
Yeah,
time I
you
ever
did.
played with Trevor. I'd played
Yeah.
with Rainey a few times on Team USA and stuff, but
Mhm.
obviously
Mhm.
always played with Sam and Chad. But it was a good group of guys that we had fun the whole time.
Yeah.
And we were able to accomplish what we wanted.
I love that. I know I was supposed to play on Cap Factory, and I had already made a commitment to play alongside Riley Sullivan, who got in a
I
car
know.
accident. So it was
Prayers
kind of
for
sad.
Riley, though, honestly.
Yeah,
Hopefully
dude,
he heals up
definitely.
fast. It was a tough one.
Thank God him and the fam are okay.
I'm glad his fam's okay, and he's
Yeah.
got his surgery already done on his hip and everything,
Yeah.
so he's
Yep.
on his way to being good again. But things like
Yep.
that, it teaches you. I mean, life's fragile, and it's
So fragile,
like
dude.
like people are resilient and people are tough, but we're
Yeah.
also just like bags of meat. Like
That's right.
we're pretty fragile too. So it's just
Yes.
you got to appreciate all the things you do and never know when your time's up. I
That's
think I
right.
learned that more this year than I ever had before, and
Yeah.
just do what you can when you can. And
Enjoy
it.
every moment,
And
dude.
try not don't do things you don't enjoy. Do things you
Yeah.
enjoy with the people you like doing, because life's short.
Yeah. That's
and
it.
it's special. So
Like these moments right here, I enjoy these more than
sure.
anything else in the
No,
world.
I-
Connecting with you
I
guys.
appreciate you guys having me on. for
Yeah,
sure.
dude. Hell yeah. All right. So sorry to interrupt.
No
You were
worries.
diving back into the story there.
Yeah.
Sorry,
So,
dude.
I want to
guess
get to Philly and how we beat you guys in the 08 finals. That's what I
We
want.
Oh,
can skip.
come on.
I've talked about my paintball lineage. I'd be happy to talk about that event.
Yeah, yeah.
You guys have been playing really well. Let's talk about that.
Let's talk about that. We will.
Oh,
was-
Marcelo.
When the time comes, we'll get there.
Okay.
Oh, Marcelo.
True though. It was good.
Oh,
But,
man.
Dude, I was playing against, like, for me, I'm a young kid, so I say it in jest,
Two-storied
obviously. It was-
franchises, too.
Yeah, two-storied
Two-storied
franchises, and to like step it, and it was just like, I had stars in my eyes, but at the same time, I had blood in my eyes too.
Oh yeah, I like it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it. That's what pro paintball is all about. And we all know that, that's
So-
what it's all about right there.
So I guess going back though, like after that Mardi Gras, Tim had moved down to Pittsburgh shortly after, and started running the All American Paintball Park. We had our own indoor facility, outdoor facility. The PSP had an event there the one time. It was
Nice.
pretty fantastic. So the Gardeners always took care of us. Adam and Billy are such good dudes, and did
Yeah.
everything in their power to give us everything we needed. So Tim moved down to start running the field. Jason Trozen moved down to start running the store. Fatty moved down from Detroit. So we had moved all of us in together, basically.
Nice.
We started living together in a team house. Obviously,
Nice.
kids in our early 20s.
Dude, having fun.
we
Yeah.
we kind of sharpened our claws on things there, learned our life, learned how to live, and became just incredibly close throughout that time. And we've always kept that bond. And I think that's what's pretty cool about our team, because like people are always like, oh, what's it like playing with like these people, or as it gets frustrating. I was like, I'm really lucky because like my best friends are incredibly good at paintball. Like my best friends are some of the best paintball players in the world, and that's nice because you get to do the thing you love to do with your best friends, and that's not something anyone could normally do. So we spent all that time together, and then eventually picked up like Chad George and Sam, and grew them. We had grown like multiple levels of these Philly guys together, and just friendships together, and that was really cool. So I guess going back to away from some of the Tim stuff, and like back to when I started on Philly was in 2005. I'd played with Miami Effect all throughout 2004, halfway through 2005 now, and Roddy McDonald, who was our coach at the time, he old Oakland Assassin player, I guess Bob Long Assassins. Oakland Assassins weren't around at the time, but he was coaching us, and he came up to me and was like, "Hey, I want to consider trading you at the end of the year to Philly. I think we can get like 3 or 4 or 5 guys for you. We need more help than just you, and that you can help them. It's good for both." He said, "Would you be open to that?" I said, "Sure," because at that point in time, I'd become frustrated.
Sorry, real quick, right? Sorry to interrupt, dude. Can you explain how that? So it was like teams could trade you. I was playing D3 at that time. I wasn't totally aware of how the NXL structured everything that year.
Yeah. So when the NXL first started, the franchises held a lot of power, right? So you couldn't play in other leagues. You couldn't do that. They owned your rights, your naming rights, and your player rights. So to actually leave, it didn't happen much, and there wasn't much. But yeah, you could be traded because you didn't own your own right to play, like the team, the franchise you played for, and because that's when Dick Clark and Penny Marshall were involved, and they were getting Hollywood involved, and they were trying to put it on. So they were emulating other leagues and stuff. And now, granted, those leagues had a lot more time behind them and already had salary caps and money and different things. So logistically, it made more sense. Like I never understood in paintball, like how you could trade someone from a team, maybe they were getting paid, all of a sudden to a team that they have to pay their way or something like that. I don't really understand how that works.
Ultimate?
Yeah, well, luckily that wasn't my experience with getting traded. So when he asked me, I appreciated the fact that he asked me in the first place and left it up to me. But at that point in time, I was ready for a change because I had been on the team for a year. I didn't see a lot of positive progression with it. Like I saw us making a lot of the same mistakes and not taking some things as seriously as I wanted to and stuff. So I was like, at the end of the year, I'm fine with that, whatever. So I wake up the next day to go have our meeting and then go play our game. I go up and Roddy's like, sorry, we traded you last night. You're going to be playing with Philly today. I was like, all right.
What?
So, whoa. I was like, I guess my game's at 11:30 now instead of 10:30. So went over to those guys, and half their guys weren't even up yet because their game was a little later. All the guys that got traded got woken up to go play with Miami that morning. I think it was like the rights to Frank, the rights to like BJ, who used to play on Strange.
Yeah.
Caleb Adcock, I think Tim Jenkins, and JT Bouchard. All got traded for that ended up being me and
dude JT. I haven't heard that name in forever.
Yeah, he's just a hunter now. He's doing little hunting shows. He has a YouTube channel. He's doing pretty good though.
That's awesome. I didn't know that. That's cool. Yeah, I love that.
California kid now. He's a hunter up in New York.
That's funny, dude.
It is funny.
What a great guy. Yeah, shout out to JT.
He's a good guy.
Love that.
But so that was strange. Went over there and then like borrowed Eric Dearman's jersey to play in because I obviously didn't have my own jersey of a team I wasn't on, Start playing the game, and then like a couple of my teammates didn't even know at that point in time. They're like, what is like Ryan doing playing with them? It's like, well, what are they doing not playing? Like it's a trade, because it was the first trade that ever had happened in paintball. And then after that there'd been a few other trades, like, but not like really player for player trades. Like one time on Philly, we picked up Son DeBillis from the Hurricanes. And he just quit and came with us, but like they were still doing the rights and stuff, so we ended up having to like pay them out in practices.
Oh wow.
So we're like, okay, we'll come to you guys a couple times and practice before these events. We're taking them.
Yeah, to like pay them in cartons of
20
cigarettes.
guns for them. We're like, no, sorry son, you just aren't going to be able to play then.
Yeah.
They're
you
asking
know?
for too much. We're like, we'll go practice, you guys. We'll make that
Yeah.
work.
Dude, that's
So,
funny.
pretty couple of like strange situations like that. But yeah, after
Yeah.
I got traded with them, like Philly had went from winning back-to-back cups in 2003 and 2004 to struggling halfway through 2005. So I got on the team and we were playing pretty good. And by cup, we were playing well, but I think we lost to Bobby, you guys, by like a point or two that cup.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then the next year, I remember going into that year, and it had been like a down year for Philly, obviously, after back-to-back World Cup wins. And then up in the Northeast, you don't get to practice a ton in the winter. We had an indoor field, so we did. There's poles. There's still have limitations. You're not really grinding against other good teams. You're doing some snap shooting drills, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the year 2006 that they had opened the NXL up finally, right? So all these open teams, all the best 7-man teams were coming over. Dynasty came in, Excessive came in, like, and I remember everyone like saying like these teams are gonna like dominate, like no one's gonna have a chance, because Dynasty was winning everything, and they deserved every win that they got there. But the unfortunate thing about this time frame is the best teams weren't playing in the same league together.
Yeah.
So they weren't cannibalizing each other, and it's not any of the team's faults or any of the players' fault, but that was the cards we were dealt, and that's a situation. So I know a lot of the original NXL teams, as I was a part of, like had a little chip on his shoulder for that, because everyone's saying how good these guys are going to be and going to come into the league and just dominate. And that Texas event was the first event of the year, which was crazy because it was like 90 degrees. We're walking fields. We wake up the next morning. There's ice on the bunkers.
Yeah.
It's like 40 degrees. I was like, what is going on here? Luckily on Philly, we had a fantastic pit crew. We put tarps around our pit. We had mulch. Our pit crew would scoop mulch on our side for our half and scrape it away before the game stuff. And like we ended up winning that event, won 40 grand, because like, that's back when entries were a lot more money and stuff. And that was a hard Sunday. We played Dynasty first game of the day on Sunday. I think we beat them like 12-3 or something, when everyone said that we had no chance.
Yeah,
then,
I'll never forget there was. Sorry, go ahead, Marsh.
Was that the year that Oliver left, or did he leave the year before? No, he left in 05. So that was
he was on Ironman.
Yeah,
we had
played
them.
Totally.
We had played them as well. That event.
Dude, I'll never forget the picture with like Timmy and all you guys with that win, and man, that's
we had some turtlenecks on under.
Yeah.
Like, zip up turtleneck.
Yeah. I feel like Tim has said that was one of his favorite wins.
Yeah, I mean, that was my first pro win, and I know like Tim played great that event. Fatty played really great. I thought I had a good event. Like it was like the event where everyone really focused on, because it was all the teams for the first time.
That's right.
In 3 years,
For the listeners that don't know who Fatty is.
Craig Doherty, but it's really just Fatty. He was a long-time All-American. He left after the 2008 season, after Marcelo took away his chance to win a World Cup, and then went into the military. Still a great friend.
Oh shit, dude! I ended a career.
No, he was leaving before that, but he would have left on a lot happier now.
Yeah, definitely.
Is there any worse sound than getting second place and hearing "We Are the Champions" getting played? I don't think so. Great when you win. It is awful when you lose.
Yeah, that's true.
Just like
It's so rough.
The only thing I remember about that Texas event is Chris Lasoya was on my team on the Oakland Assassins, executing that guy, and 1,000 flags flew in the air because the guy like cheated him or whatever, and then he just ran up on him and just
a little spicy. It was just a little
spicy. Definitely.
I saw that. Our game was the next game, so we were on the sideline watching that. I watched it from like 15 feet away. I was like, oh, I can't believe that just happened.
Oh my God. Yeah. I was in the pit, and all I just see is Chris running up on that guy. I was like, no. And he was against Doc's Raiders. Yeah. That's right.
I forget what the player who it was, but I remember he was arguing with the refs. And Chris like ran up halfway, jogged a little bit, and then took like 2 slow walking steps, raised his gun up right to the back of his head.
Yeah.
One ball.
Yeah.
I was like, you can't do that. I don't think.
No, the birds.
See how this plays out. No, you can't do that.
The birds were flying, dude. I've never seen so many red flags in my life.
Bunch of cardinals up in the air.
Yeah. Dude, that's crazy.
So we played Dynasty, then we played Excessive, and then Russian Legion, and then Trauma to win that event.
Dude, that's a statement.
It's a strong Sunday, and that's Trauma. They won the World Cup the year before.
That's right.
Russians were really good at that point in time. And then Excessive and Dynasty were the 2 teams everyone was looking at coming into that.
Right.
So
That's
I couldn't
right.
have asked for a harder Sunday. and for that to be my first win was it was a really cool win to do it with all my friends on a team I've been playing on for half a year, and
dude,
under the conditions we did, it was a pretty amazing feeling.
That's a statement, dude. That's crazy. Yeah, and like I said, I'll never forget those photos, dude. They're timeless photos of you guys after that win with everybody.
We celebrated.
That's right. That's right, dude. Definitely. You got it, man. That's amazing. Yeah, and everybody was saying, you know, like you said, like Dynasty Excessive's coming in, nobody's gonna have a chance, and then
And I don't want to take anything away from the great teams.
yeah.
But we were great too, right? So that's all.
Right. Yeah, for sure. And you guys showed it. You guys did it, man. You made it happen.
So then we went through a few more iterations of Philly players coming and going. I mean, back then you had 15, 18 people on your team. Sometimes it doesn't always stick around.
Yeah.
We went through coaching changes, whether it was Spesh or Jason Trozen for a while. But we kept our core group of guys, and we did keep getting better. And we kind of, I feel like we kind of changed the way that Philly was. Like, Philly was a team that they were good when they were winning cups, obviously, but they were the team that no one really liked. They were a bunch of guys that just got along with each other. Everyone's like, oh, look at those nerds, whatever. Like I felt like we changed it in that aspect, that because we came in, we're a younger generation. We were already friends with a lot of other people. We had played on other teams, and we became a team that Philly became a team that like really grew. I think one of the most amazing fan bases there ever was. I mean, I don't know too many teams that have been gone for 10 years and still have a really big following.
That's very true.
So I give Tim the majority of the credit for that, but I think every person that was a part of that led to that. You know, it's just like I said about obviously being nice to people and giving your input and just being like good ambassadors for the sport. And I thought we did that while playing well. And we had struggled some years and we went through changes, but by 2008, we were building up to a winning franchise again. It was taking time, but we were building up something special. That's the year that Ironman beat us multiple times to win, and we got second. That's frustrating.
That was the year you guys got Fedorov too, right?
Yeah, we picked up Fedorov at the beginning of 2008, and great teammate, one of the best players that's ever picked up a paintball gun, obviously. But when you pick someone up and bring them into a team, I've always said this, you could pick up a better player and make your team worse technically, because it's all about the fit of something. It's about the mentality. It's about, is he going to help the players around him, or is something, or the players dragging themselves down because they're expecting something else, right? So at the beginning, he was so entrenched in that Russian Legion way of things that it took him a while to really bond with us and become better. So that's why at the beginning of the year, I think we were struggling a little more than towards the end. But by the end, he was staying 2 months at a time at our house with us. We were hanging out together, and we had a strong bond. We became family then. And then that translated to on the field, we were getting better.
Of course.
That's right.
Me and him played on a side a lot together at that point in time, back and forth, whether who was first and second, because we could both play that kind of game where you could transition into whichever spot. And by the end of the year, we were playing pretty good, but we hadn't won an event that year. So it was pretty frustrating. And then World Cup, that was a strange World Cup too. I don't know if you remember, but there was actually 3 field layouts that World Cup.
Yeah.
So there was the prelim, there was the field layout for the teams that like didn't get like a bye. And then there was another field layout. And then there was a separate field layout for just the finals, right?
That's right.
So you're going into this event to practice for it, and you have to pick and choose what you're going to practice on. And I don't know about you guys, but we didn't practice for the final field because, it's great to know it. No, we thought that we would.
Kidding, dude.
we thought it's more important to make sure you get there and then figure out the rest later. Right?
Of course, I'm just kidding.
No, I know. Did you guys practice for that field though?
Dude, I honestly don't remember. I really
for all the teams I know, I didn't know of anyone that said they did. But it'd be hard to, because like you're just getting something in your mind and throwing all the other stuff away. I don't know if it would have been good or would have been bad to practice.
I think there's a good chance we did not.
Yeah.
I don't.
And back those World Cups, the sets were still best of 3.
Yeah, dude, how crazy is that? 2 25-minute
halves, best of 3. So we had just played Russian Legion on a different field in the semis and beat them pretty handedly. And then we lined up against you guys in the finals. And we went into that game. We were feeling pretty good. I think we won the first game even.
I think so, yeah.
I think we won the first game. Yeah. and then it definitely went 3. I just don't remember if we won the first or second. And then the next 2 games were 1-point games. And they were. It was just a battle. I mean, it was two extremely talented teams that didn't like each other. They had something to prove. That had chips on their shoulder and fighting it out. I mean, it was a fist fight, and you guys earned your win. It was an incredibly hard loss for me. Wouldn't be the first World Cup I lost, and definitely wasn't the last World Cup I lost. But it was
they build you up, man.
They do. I mean, they can tear you down or build you up, but that's the kind of character of the person you see, and that's right. Like we talked about how you can read people. There's people that are going to quit and stuff after hardships, but you don't want those people on your team anyway. So you want the people that are going to fight after. So in 2009. We came back and we won Phoenix against Ironman in the finals. Pretty crazy game in its own right. Yeah. Some pretty wild things happening in that one. And so that's
what happened in that one?
I don't know. That's where I did that one spin move in the last point. And there's like a
wait, what?
Like a 2-on-1.
Yeah. I don't know about this. I really don't. I had gone back to Aftermath.
So we were up. Yeah. We it was like a back and forth game. Then we got up maybe 2 or 3 points with probably maybe 4 minutes left, right? And Ironman were up on a 3-on-1 against us, and I was alive in this horrible cam. And shot one person. Then Paxton tried to like bunker me, and like I was just my body took over. I don't know, like it didn't look good. It's whatever. But like as I shot him, I was kind of already out of position, and I had to spin back around because. Scotty Kemp was in the Snake 50 too. So
dude,
like,
get him out, bro.
And I was spinning around. I did a complete like pirouette, and then I was out in the open. Then just went to another bunker. I ended up like winning that 3-on-1 to win the tournament. So they didn't come up. So.
Damn. So
that's epic.
They missed you.
They missed you.
They didn't shoot me. That's for sure.
They didn't shoot you. They didn't eliminate you.
Yeah. Neither actually.
Yeah.
Damn. Dude, that's tight.
Dude, that's awesome.
So that was pretty cool to win that after we had a pretty long break of not winning, but being so close to winning.
Dude, let's go.
That whole year we were back and forth with Ironman again, best 2 teams in 2009.
Yeah.
And then we ended up losing the World Cup final to Russian that year. Another best of 3. We won the first game and then lost.
How many finals have you been in for World Cup finals?
I don't know. A lot.
Do you know the number?
No, I don't.
Dude, it's got to be, I mean.
But obviously these last 2, the one with Dynasty in 2015 that you guys won, 2 more with Philly.
So let's say 6, 7.
6 or 7 probably.
Yeah. Wow, that's impressive, dude. That's awesome.
So it was getting extremely frustrating to not have won one. You know?
Yeah.
It's really frustrating. Like everyone's like one thing that you want to do so bad.
Of course, right? That's it right there. That's what everybody's looking for. Yeah. That's right.
And then like I was happy that after one, like that feeling doesnesn't go away every year. That feeling again. So that's good.
Yeah. Well, you guys are currently the back-to-back champs as we sit here right now.
I can't say enough good things about our whole team. I mean, from the top of the organization down to the bottom, Sarge and Mama D and the Granny Heaters, Nana, they take care of us so well and allow us to focus on playing. I mean, they're really patrons of the sport and people like that allow us to do what we do. So I am extremely appreciative of everything they've given us, and I'm extremely appreciative of all our sponsors. I mean, when you're on a really good team, in a way, you do get to handpick your sponsors. So when you tell people that you really like something, you're being earnest and honest about it because you had a say in it. You're not getting one company to come to you and say, hey, we're going to give this to you and no one else is. You have the opportunities, you have the options. So when I tell someone that like I think like the things I'm using are the best, I'm not having to lie. I'm able to tell the truth. And we don't have many sponsors. I mean, we have Nike just for cleats, and then DLX and HK Army, and that's how I like it. I mean, we have
HK is one of the best in the game, honestly.
I can't say.
Yeah, and it's a shame. I know you guys aren't shooting forces, but you know the Luxes are okay.
I am happy to see but I was happy to see all the Dynasty guys take over the force, and I think it's got a lot of potential with like Alex and Yosh and Ryan and everything working on it. I'm happy to see that, and
it's full circle for me.
For you. It's full circle for you, so that's cool too. But for me, it's the same way with DLX. I truly believe it is the best gun in the world, but I also have used it since it came out. I had the first prototype one in 2008. and I'm
Yeah.
still using them to this day. I had a little gap on Impact where I was using other guns, but I had a lot of say in the ergonomics of the Lux and on
Wow.
the little things. So like, to me, that is like home in my hands.
Yeah.
So to have them sponsor, it's a company that has always sponsored me, a company who, between the Gardner brothers and the entire company, top to bottom, has always looked out for me. That's like a privilege to still be able to be with them and still support them,
Dude.
and still be able to carry their flag. And then to follow that up with being sponsored by HK Army, which is one of the most, not only the coolest companies we sponsored by, but one of the most revolutionary companies in the whole industry and outside the industry, because they're trendy, they know what's cool, they know what's nice, but they're also dudes who grew up loving this game. They're friends who made t-shirts and stickers and grew it into something amazing. And now they offer everything that we could want. Like, that's a reason we don't need to have 30 sponsors. It's because they give us everything we want outside of the gun that we get from my other sponsor, who I think makes it fun. So
that's right.
I think it's pretty cool to have. I wouldn't ever want a different sponsor, and I'm more than happy.
I know. We feel the same way, Marcelo and myself. I mean, like, to be able to be sponsored by HK Army, the greatest company in the world, and same with. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, the greatest dudes, they are paintball. They are paintball.
They are paintball. They're our age. They care. They put effort into everything they do. And I know some people don't like certain attitudes of this and that, but if you get down to know them, they're like some of the most genuine, nicest guys who only want what's best for the whole industry.
They're the only major company owners that I have seen that are constantly in the pits with their teams that are performing. Especially, you know, come Sunday, like, they're in there literally cheering us on. You know, I'm sure
they get nervous. You can tell.
Like, they love the game.
Like, they literally get nervous, and that's what I like. That's what I like from it. I don't want to just be a number on a spreadsheet.
Exactly.
That's right. Like, I want that connection, and I have that with these companies, so I can honestly tell the truth, and I can honestly support everything they give us, because it's so everything I want.
That's a beautiful thing, dude. And you are truly so blessed, Ryan, to like you said, from top to bottom, your organization is just built with amazing people. You have an amazing structure that you're able to be a part of. The family that houses you guys
At World Cup last year, we had 45 family members.
That's crazy.
Can you believe that?
No way.
Dude,
whoa.
Like something like that, I think, or maybe it was 35. And
bro, even if it's 25, 30, you're just talking about 40 people that are.
It's pretty wild.
Dude, we hear them out there. They're out there giving it to, you know what I mean? They're like, lead them up, baby.
They get spicy. They get spicy up there.
Yeah. It's fun, man. That's what it's all about. We love that. And dude, like I said, you're so blessed to be a part of something like that.
Yeah.
And I feel the same way too with, like, you know, with the sponsors that we have. It's an amazing thing. All of us sitting here are so fortunate to be in the positions that we are.
I'll tell you, with you especially, I see it because, like, maybe before you took your little hiatus from playing, it didn't look like you were having as much fun now. But I look at you now, and when I see you, it's always a smile, and I can see it's a genuine happiness. So, like, you're happy where you are now, and that's great. Because I like you so much as a person and as a player, and enjoy watching you. I'm happy to see you at a place where you're happy again.
Dude, I love that. Thanks, right? Yeah, because there was a time, like, I was when I was 20, 21, you know, it's crazy at those times, and you know, I wasn't entirely sure where I was going to go. I had school, I had business, I had paintball, I had a lot of things going. And you know what I did? I followed my heart, and I did what made me happy. And now I'm able to sit here and talk with you dudes and have a great time and enjoy my life. And I got 2 beautiful children, a beautiful wife in the room next door to me. I got the best teammates, the best friends in the world sitting here with me. So I definitely made the right decisions for sure to be sitting here with you guys.
Love that, dude.
Yeah.
So, Ryan, we got to talk about, how did the impact thing come up? You know, because again, you said you've only left one team, and that is true. It seemed like a lot of the times you guys have had the same. It's funny, even Fedorov, someone that lives in Russia, you've played with him for a long time, you know, over 10 years. So it seems like you guys have kind of always had that Philly Americans group, you know, that brotherhood that is stuck together. But how did the impact situation go down? How did
go to it or to leave it?
Both.
Okay.
But going first.
Okay, so I guess after that cup in 2009, we knew that that was when the whole economy kind of collapsed and banks were calling in loans and stuff. So we knew Smart Parts was kind of in some trouble at that point in time. We still thought we were going to be able to keep a team. So we had fought for it. Like you see people now, they leave a day after cup, a week after cup. It's something like that. But I mean, we were in the middle to later part of January, and none of us had left Philly yet. I know Guy had called and tried to get us to take over Ironman at that point in time.
Oh, wow.
But they wanted the Philly American name.
Well, who doesn't? You guys are a hot commodity.
So that wasn't going to work. And we just still thought it could work. And Adam, still being the guy he was, still was fighting for it to happen. So none of us had left. But the later it got to that January, a couple people were getting offers, and we knew that some of the offers wouldn't last. And if things did fall apart, it would be bad. So at that point in time, we kind of gave our blessings to people to take what they had. I think Jason Edwards might have left first, went to like Rage. A couple of the other guys left, and then Tim got a bunch of offers on a lot of teams. But Aftershock was one that allowed him to bring other players with him. So he went with like Sam, he brought Pat Roberts, I think a couple, like 4 guys. So he decided to go there so he could bring more people. And Bart had called me, and I had already hung out with like Omelet and JC and been friends with Zach and Zane at European
Great
events.
Dudes.
Oh, they're the best, man. I spent some great times with them.
Yeah.
So I had already kind of known them, but you don't really know people until you're their teammates. Bart called, and I just had a really good conversation with him, and he told me he wanted me to be the first American they picked up and stuff, and just talked to him for a couple hours, and then decided I was going to go there. Went there. We ended up winning the first tournament they ever won. It was the first one I played in Phoenix that year. Damn. Which was pretty cool. And then Chad was trying to decide between maybe going to a couple places, and he ended up going with Dynasty that year, and that was I think good for him to kind of go out on his own, while he was still so young, and to get a different viewpoint and different feeling for how different organizations are run and stuff. And then
and you brought Chad into this top level paintball essentially.
Tim really, I was at the practice. Chad came. I was coming to try out for like a local 5-man team. Tim started running. Yeah. And Chad thought it was only a 1 day, came late. His mom like dropped him off from the other side of the state, like, and we're like, I don't know. And I watched him play. I was like, well, he's better than everyone else, so we'll just give him a chance. And I kind of went from there.
Look at him now.
Yeah, him and Sam like just became like Philly practice players, and then they became on the team. And now Chad's pretty. Most people consider him the best league player in the world, if not one of the best.
That's right.
And I think he's earned that, and he's became such a more versatile player. He's not limited to being the number one. He can do a lot of things now, and a lot of that's over a career of trying different things and willing to learn and willing to adapt. So that's right. So after that first year of playing with Impact, we had some openings and ended up bringing Chad over and Tim over, and so we kind of got back together. I mean, we always wanted, all of us never wanted to quit playing together, right? So when we had to separate, we were always looking for ways to come back together. So it happened that way. And eventually the MPPL and the PSP were in such turmoil that like Bart was a part owner in the MPPL, so we weren't allowed to play the PSP the 1 year, which was a frustrating year. And that's kind of how Chad transitioned to playing with Heat, where Sam and Yaya already were. And that's kind of when it was time to leave Impact. Heat had already won 3 events their first year. They had a good time, and then RKS was forming, and they were taking 3 of their starters. So they were looking for replacements, and obviously between the connections, we were brought up, and that's when me, Tim, and Greg decided to go over. It was by no means any problems we had on Impact or any trepidations. It was probably one of the hardest decisions I ever had made, leaving the team that I loved, all the guys I enjoyed playing on. The owner treated me like a son. Like it's hard to leave those situations, but at the same time, I mean, everyone has reasons for making things, whether it's, there's 1,000 reasons you have to think about before you make a decision. And I thought it was the right thing to do. And I left, and really haven't looked back. Heat's been the longest team I've ever been on. This is my 6th year.
That's amazing, man. Yeah. And like you said, we actually got to play on Impact together, and the Yakamac family, I love them so much. The whole organization's amazing. And obviously you made a good decision. I mean, Heat, you guys have been doing very well, and you have a beautiful organization as well there. I'm sure that was not easy though. And
It was hard. It was hard.
yeah,
That phone call was hard to make Bart, like I said, and I'm still friends with him. We still talk, and
yeah,
we left on good terms, which is I think is important. Too many people burn
Mhm.
bridges in paintball. It's such a
That's
small
right.
community. It's crazy to not be loyal, and it's crazy
Mhm.
to not be honest with people, because you are going to be interacting and dealing with them again, and it's just the right thing to do. So when I
Yeah.
see certain players leave under different circumstances, I always it kind of upsets me. But like I think there's a right way to do things and a wrong way, and I think
Yeah.
we did it the right way, and I try not to ever do that.
Yeah,
But
there's been some crazy moves recently, huh?
yeah.
Oh man, yeah,
Indeed. Yeah, let's
it's
talk about the biggest crazy move recently, Ty.
yeah. Well,
Maybe Mark.
obviously, I'm talking about Alex Rodriguez leaving the Ironman after winning Las Vegas, and now he's playing for Impact, which is pretty mind-boggling
Yeah.
to me.
Crazy, right?
But
It's a
you
big
know,
one.
and in another regard, I do love A-Rod, and I want nothing but the best for every professional paintball player. So, but I also agree with you, Ryan, that the people don't forget.
No, but I will say, like, I don't know. I didn't talk to A-Rod since he made that, so I don't know
Yeah,
all the intricacies of why he had to make that
totally.
decision. I
Oh,
know the
yeah,
Ironman
absolutely.
weren't always 100% in for this, so
That's
I don't
right.
know the conversations he made. He
I
might have
actually
left.
do.
Yeah, I was
I
gonna say he might
actually,
have left in the good way, but I was just trying to
yeah.
stick up for him, so he might not have.
Well, no, I think that it's a hairy situation. I actually
Yeah,
just hung out with Corey Hall. We hit a little Top Golf this last week, and so I got kind of a little inside scoop on all this
Oh,
stuff.
what?
But yeah, I mean, they were not solidified to play
Right.
at World Cup. He was not feeling like he had a for sure thing. You know, he kind of had to make a move, and like I said, I love A-Rod. I love all paintball players, and I think that you know you got to do what you got to do, but. Yeah, I just feel like, man, damn, dude, you just want to
I feel,
turn.
and
Yeah,
I honestly I feel sorry for the Ironman. Obviously, they just won that tournament, but
yeah,
it's unfortunate too, because they'll never they're going to make excuses if they don't win. This happened and that. You want
yeah,
people to be on one footing. You want people to have the best chance of winning, so that if you win, that you went through the turmoil to do it, right?
mm-hmm,
But
mm-hmm.
I can't really fault him
Yeah,
for making that decision, because
you
it's
know,
a hard decision to make. And if your organization is not 100% in on you, how can you be 100% in on
mm-hmm.
them? And
Totally.
Absolutely.
and I think it's a really interesting move to go to Impact, because obviously they're a fantastic team, but without the Canadian core, that's a lot of losses. And there's some
Mm-hmm.
questions whether J-Rab's going to be at Cup or not too. So
That's right.
they're down to about half their squad, and a lot of them as starters. And
It's going to be an interesting
I
World
think
Cup,
Hold
dude.
on. Questions if J-Rab is going to be at Cup. Where'd you hear
Yeah.
there?
Well, Mouse was talking about that on
Yeah.
Go Sports, that J-Rab might not be at Cup, and
schooling
for the,
situations.
that's
Maybe.
right. Yeah, and then also for the listeners who don't know, all of the Canadian portion of Impact will not be at World
Yes.
Cup as well. So the Impact team is going to have a whole new lookout here. We're going to
Wow.
see what's going to happen.
So they're
Yeah.
going to have to pick up a lot of new players, and as good as a player as A-Rod is,
Uh-huh.
I'm curious to see how he
Me
fits in
too.
on that team,
Me
because I
too.
look at that
Short
lineup
leash.
now without the rush. Yeah, not only about being on a leash or being off a leash, but just positionally. I look at that lineup, and now that half of it's gone, 3 of the 6 players that I can name on that lineup are now center players, right? Like you have Nick Laval, Trevor Reeser, and A-Rod all kind of play the same position. I mean, they're versatile players that can play everywhere, but they're going to do their most damage in that one position. So now you're going to be kind of spreading that around. I'm just curious to see where the playing time is going to go, and how, if they play a more, without the Canadians there, if they play a more kind of like free flowing style game, or if they try to still stick in their system.
Oh man,
and I'm not sure what's right or wrong to do. And I think Dave's going to have a ton of hard decisions. He's going to have to do it by himself without Bart there as well. So
that's right. I'm so fucking excited for World Cup. I cannot wait to get out to this tournament. I know, dude. It's like, you know, we've been corralled all
Cooped
year,
up, man.
you know, like
Cooped
we've and you know, and rightfully so. I safety is my number one priority. I want to make sure that everybody's safe and we're doing things the right way. But my God, this has been brutal, man. Like,
I will say that, like, I agree with you. People do have to stay safe. Things are dangerous, but but life is inherently dangerous, whether
That's
it's
right.
a car that you get in, or and you could get in an accident, or this or that. Like everything you do has some level of risk to it. It's
That's
just
right.
about weighing the pros versus the cons, and staying safe against those risks, right?
Yeah.
Like it
That's
has a
it.
risk. So you get in a
Mhm.
car, you wear a seatbelt. Like, you go out,
That's right.
wear a mask, do those things, but don't
That's
quit
right.
living your life, because if you live
That's
in
right.
fear and give up freedoms to have a little more security, like that's
You
not
lose
a
it
good
all.
decision. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. There's a very famous quote about that as
Yeah.
well. I can't remember the exact quote, but it's in that regard. And yeah, it's like, we
I
cannot
think it's
stop
like
living life.
if you give up
That's right.
freedom for security, you don't deserve either.
That's right.
Something
That's
along
right.
those
Yeah.
lines.
And you're right, Rye. We can't stop living our life. We got to keep going. And also, I know that it's super bad out there, but like we just got to keep living. You can't stop living life. We can do the safety precautions, do all these things,
Yep.
but we gotta still, and it's not healthy to have that fear inside of you either. We got to keep living, with a bright heart and a bright outlook on things, and not live in a fearful state. And obviously do the precautions, everything that we can do, but let's keep living life and be full of life and zest. And I know that World Cup's going to be like a World Cup kind of light, like a Bud
Yeah.
Light type thing. It's going to be like,
Half
like
flavor.
World Cup, yeah, but
I hope that some of the South American people will be there, because going back to what we said, the atmosphere of events, like
yeah,
Yeah,
we were talking
100%.
about Marcella, about like European fun, because their mindset is different, all the players stay. But what makes World Cup special is not only people from all over the world coming, but especially the South Americans, because they
Yes.
come with so much vigor and so much enthusiasm and love for the sport, and that vibe kind of carries throughout. So I hope that they're able to be there. I hope that everyone who wants to
The
can
Wild
come.
Dogs are going to be there.
yeah, baby.
Yeah.
Playing in our division, baby.
Dude, watch out for those Wild Dogs out there. They're coming.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. God, I've had
Good
some
for them,
serious-
though. Hey, they might not be ready for it, but they'll learn.
Oh, I agree.
It's,
Yeah.
and I like that they want to try.
Yeah.
Who knows?
It's yeah.
Who knows? Dude, what if they come out and just win the World Cup?
Unfortunately, that's not
win-win
going to
for
happen, but
Yeah.
Unfortunately, that would be
Yeah.
unfortunate if it did. I would have to rethink about my whole life decisions. How this team that has never won anything came in and won. That would be frustrating.
It'd be pretty frustrating. No, it's going to be an amazing tournament. I'm so excited to get out there, and
But I never want to look down on someone who's willing to throw their chips in,
Totally.
and try. And I
That's
think
right.
it's cool they're doing. And you just see some people doing it, and I think it's a shame. But I'm excited that they're going to be here, and win, lose, or draw. I'm sure they're going to try their hardest, and they're going to get to see where they stack up against the best players in the world and the best teams in the world. And that's what it's all about. Because when you teach clinics or play against people, like so many people are like, I could be you if only I had that opportunity. And then they play and they're like, oh wow, you guys are more skilled than I thought, or you do know how to do things different. And
I'm willing to bet they win a game. I mean, depending on their draw. I believe that there's teams that are already in the pro division that they could beat. I've battled against the Wild Dogs quite a bit down in Colombia.
Yeah.
Against them, I kind of know they're
a little more lawless down in South America when you play.
Absolutely, 100%.
I will be willing to bet that they get a penalty in every game they play.
I just can't wait, dude.
It's not because of how they are. It's just a different league, different ways that people play.
It's because how they are. It's because how they are. they ride the line quite a bit.
Yeah. Hey man, more power to them. Live it up, baby. Enjoy yourself.
I think it's funny though. You see a lot of good divisional teams come up to pro, and they complain because they get penalties and stuff. It's like, no, you are pushing the line more. Like,
yes.
Like, is there a line that everyone kind of pushes here and there? Yes, but what you're doing is you're flagrantly stepping over the line all the time, and you will get caught. Like, it's gonna happen.
Yeah.
Like,
Right.
When you see the best teams not getting as many penalties, it's because they have the best players that don't need to put their teammates at risk. That's how I look at it. Like, it's selfish to get a penalty, because if I get a penalty, I'm getting another one of the best players in the world pulled out. So what I'm saying to my team is that without me, I don't think that you can win. That's if I'm cheating 100%. And getting a penalty, that's what I'm saying. But if I'm willing to accept the cost, like, hey, you're not always perfect. You're going to go out, you're going to lose a gun battle, you're going to make a bad mistake, you're going to just get shot up the break because it's little gaps. Here and there. Yeah, you're going to get shot. I've been shot thousands of times. It happens, right? But when you cheat on a good team, what you're willing to give up another player's lives. And when I look at my team, I look at whether it's 3 guys or 4 guys against 5. I have full faith in them, and I would rather watch that play out and not put us in a negative on the field because of that penalty, but also not in a negative mindset for the refs, because you don't want that bad. You don't want that omen against you, and you don't want them thinking that you kind of play dirty, because people are people, and people
don't forget.
People remember. Yeah, people remember.
People don't forget. Dude, you said that absolutely perfectly, Ryan. That's something that we talk about as well, is like, when you cheat, you're saying you don't have faith in your team. Yeah. That's what you're saying.
It's selfish.
You know?
Cheating
is
selfish.
Selfish. Totally, dude. And like you said, you're also pulling out one of the other best players in the world as well. And it's just man,
and every person on these best teams have pulled out low body situations, have made game-breaking moves. So you cheating and getting him pulled out, you lose that opportunity.
That's right.
And not only do you lose that opportunity for that point, but you demoralize your mindset going into the next one. People doubt you. You doubt yourself. You question if you should make moves. Other people are upset that you get upset that you got pulled for someone's penalty. It's a mental,
for sure,
debilitation, honestly.
100%, dude. Instead of having that major boost, like when you win that scramble ball, when you win that down body situation that you're not supposed to win.
Some of my favorite paintball to play, honestly.
Yeah,
it's a win-win situation, like, right? Like,
yeah,
no lose that. Right. You're supposed to lose. You have the ability to go out and do anything you can to try to win. And if you win, you shouldn't have. So it's a benefit. Like,
yeah, that's right.
Most fun paintball to play is down body situations.
For sure, dude, because it's such a boost. And then instead of that demoralizing energy that you bring, now you've brought this whole boost to it. That's right, dude. I love that. Yeah, man. Yeah, it's a crazy game we play, and there's a lot of situations that we're not supposed to win, and that's what championship teams do, is they win when they're not supposed to. That's the difference right there. Is there's situations, and I know that, you know, we've all experienced that, where we're not supposed to win and we do, and then it changes the paradigm of that entire tournament, and you go on to win a tournament that way. You know,
and the teams that do that more are teams that don't rely on 1 or 2 guys, right? You have to look at your roster from top to bottom, and every one of those guys has to be willing to win that point for you. You should all be collaborating towards a bigger goal in every point that you play. But as soon as you have to start scrambling because something goes wrong, you need everyone to be looking for that opening, everyone to be looking for that win and forcefully pressing it. Because if you only have 1 guy on the snake, or 1 guy on the Doritos, or 1 guy up the middle looking for it, that's 1 chance. If you have 4 guys looking for it, you have 4 different opportunities to win a point.
That's right. And that's that next level processing that a lot of people don't think about, you know, and that's like, and you have to train that way too. It's not like we just fucking whimsically come up with this shit out there. It's like we practice this way to win those situations and have that processing already ready to go when those situations arise, you know. And
it's not just about practicing, it's about just being analytical of your mistakes and the things that worked out for you. Because sometimes those can be improved too. It's looking back on a point and saying, why did I do that? What happened in that situation? Could I have done something different?
Yes.
Like, what did I see that made me do that? Or what did I miss seeing that could have made me lead to a different decision? And it's just thinking. I think some of the times I've gotten the best is just thinking about things in the off season, going back and just being analytical about all my games I played and thinking about what I could do different. That's when you become better.
That's
it's
right.
Not necessarily just doing reps, because you see kids with good gun skills going out and doing more snap shooting and doing this and being like, I don't get it. Like, I'm good at this. Why isn't it working? Because you're mentally not ready for it. You're not fixing it. You don't know when to battle. You are good at battling, but if someone who's good at battling might win 60% of their battles. That's because you're playing against other people that are really good too. So if you're great at battling, you win 60%. That's not great odds. So what you have to do is you pick and choose when to battle. Are we down in numbers? Should I be battling because I need to bring this body back real quick? Or are we up in advantage? Are we up in field positioning where someone wants me to battle them? That's not the time to battle.
That's right.
Am I you should battle with intention. Am I battling to make a move? Am I battling to shoot this person? Am I battling to make sure that they can't make a move? But all these battles are different. And it's not just going, hey, I have a paintball gun, you have a paintball gun, let's shoot at each other. That's not always what it is. It's picking and choosing the right time to use your skill sets.
That's
Whether that's aggressively pushing a move or aggressively pushing a battle or waiting and baiting someone into a mistake. These are all things to do, but it's knowing when to use those skill sets that you have. It makes you a lethal player as opposed to a talented player. I see a lot of talented players that aren't lethal because they don't have the mindset right really to make the right decisions.
And that's because what you're talking about here is you're taking you're sitting outside of your body, watching the situation and analyzing it and understanding what decisions need to be made there, like,
and it could be a sound that you hear. The field gets quiet, or so you start hearing things. It could be a feeling or things, but you're getting all these senses because your body's working at its peak when you're in, when you're in the zone. Like when you're flowing, the flow state is a thing, and when you're in that, like, your body is seeing things that you don't even know you're picking up, right? And
dude, that's spot on
to those things.
That's right. Yeah. Once you get into that flow state, you're right. It's like an out of body experience when you're playing this game.
Unstoppable.
You can see through the bunkers essentially, and you can feel the energy, you can feel the paint, you can feel the sounds, you can smell the move. You're like, oh,
that's why I don't like wearing gloves. I like feeling the grittiness of the dirt.
Dude, you don't wear fucking underwear, bro.
No, but I'm saying, like, the no gloves, like, I like feeling dirt on my hands. I like feeling the ground or the turf or the grass when I slide. I like feeling the metal of the gun and the rubber at the grips. Like, I like feeling all that because it feels connected to it.
Dude, you're a real ass human. You're a real ass human, bro. You're out there, dude, you're feeling it. You're in that state. That's what it's all about. And that's why you're one of the best in the world. That's why you're able to win tournaments, because you're completely tapped in. You're completely in the moment. You're completely one with the energy that's going on with your team, with yourself, with the whole framework of the game that's going on right there, and that's the difference right there.
I will say, though, when people want to get better, what they should be doing is working on the things that they're bad at, right? Like doing the things you struggle with. Too many people don't want to put themselves in bad situations in practice because they don't want to look bad. They don't want to look foolish. But if you truly want to get better, you have to do things that make you feel uncomfortable. Like what no matter what that is, you work on your problems, and then you fix that. You don't work on your strengths until you fix your deficits,
Totally.
And like, for me, like, I know that early in my career, I wasn't the best communicator. I thought, like, I was more worried about moving and being aggressive and doing things like that. But the longer I played, I realized that, that might be helping me at times, but it's hurting the team at times. So like, I put a concerted effort on being a good communicator, and I have a horrible voice for communicating. So I have to sound like an idiot when out there, and I have to fluctuate my tones, and I sound like I'm singing, but I do that because that's what works. And it works for me, because, like, if otherwise people don't hear me. You could yell all day. That's not communicating. Right. You could say the same thing all the time, and that's not communicating. That's just cluttering airwaves. Communicating is a back and forth flow of conversation between people. It's an exchange of ideas. It's not just shouting super loud so someone can't hear. And I consciously made a concerted effort to work on that. And I think that's one of the strengths of my game now. And that has only helped me as a player.
For sure. You got to get uncomfortable, man. That's the only way that you grow. You gotta, and it's the wherewithal to have the foresight to see that and to be able to pick apart yourself, because you're making yourself vulnerable, and it's not easy and it's uncomfortable, but that's where you're going to get the growth. That's where the progress is going to be made, is by getting in those uncomfortable positions, for sure, dude. That's what it's all about. Love that, man.
Yeah, I agree. But at the same time too, work on your strengths as well.
No, for sure. But don't work on your strengths to the detriment of your
of
course.
That's
all I mean. Like,
100%.
Focus on your weaknesses, and then fine tune your strengths.
Totally.
Yeah.
I think we're on the same page with that.
Yeah, 100%. I forgot what it was. I had read a book from a really well-known coach. I don't remember what book it was. It's a bummer, but he kind of went against the grain. So I've always done the same thing. I really want to work on my weaknesses. What am I, when I was younger, I would play a full day left-handed, I would go in the field every time. And the whole concept behind this book, and I just thought it was very interesting, was work more on your strengths, put more time into what you're already kind of good at, because you could make that better than, almost anyone else at that. But at the same time, you got to.
I agree with that for certain people too, because it depends how long you want to be involved in a game. Are you trying to be super long standing and be really well rounded, or are you trying to accentuate this one strength for a short peak? Because I think that's the time. Because if you're not planning on being around a long time, or you're not sure, you're not comfortable with your other strengths, and then focus on that strength and make it the best possible, because that's your best chance to be successful. But I think that if you're a player that has the focus and the desire to be really great, then you have to work on everything.
For sure. Absolutely. Especially in paintball, right? We talk about it all the time. Paintball is actually, you always talk about the one on the snake side, the one on the Dorito side, the 2, the 3.
Oh, that kills me.
Paintball is so positionless. You know what I mean? It's a positionless game. You got to be a top level player. You have to understand the game of paintball, and you just have to be able to play in all situations. And you might be the one that turns into the 2 or the 3, or you might be the 3 that turns into the 1, all based on the breakout. That wasn't scripted, you know? And if you can't adjust to that and you're not well-rounded, you're not going to be one of the elites. You know, you might be able to go and be that front snake player every time, and you might be really good at it, but as soon as someone shuts that down, you don't know what to do now. And so you're never going to make it on a top level team. And you spoke about Chad George. I agree. I think Chad is one of the best. He has built a name to where he is one of the best snake players to ever play the game. I think it's hard to argue that where he has come from, you know, 08 Philly when we were battling, you know, till now is tremendous. I have so much respect for that kid, but it's because,
especially if you look at peak and longevity.
Yes, totally. You know, and it's because he can play both. He can play all styles. He can slow it down. He can speed it up. He's good at doing many things, you know, and you as well. You're a total utility player. No one knows where you're going to play. You know, you
I don't have to.
Yeah, you know, like, and that is why you are on a championship team. That's a reason why you're one of the best. And it's a reason why you can do it for so long, you know?
I do agree with you that paintball should be positionless, but I think that's one thing that most teams, even in our league, in the professional division, struggle with. Too many people put these tags on people and on positions that just aren't right. Totally. Because, like, yes, you have aggressive people that you can call them the 1, or you have a starting place, and that's one thing. But even more than that, like, every field is different, right? So, like, you could say I'm the 1 in the snake, but sometimes the snake side plays slower. It's a creeping side. Sometimes it's a hard battle side to get in. Like, people should be playing the part of the field that, like, their skill sets are accentuated the best by. And that's not always the one side. It's not always the Dorito side or the center or that. And too many people just get in that zone. They go, oh, this field layout comes out, I'm going to go play that side and only play that side and only do that. But good coaches should put players where they're best suited to help the team, for one. And good players should be willing and should be going out of their way to play both sides too, because by playing both sides, you learn what the other side is doing. And sometimes that helps you get an understanding, and you're not frustrated. Like, why aren't they moving? You understand what they're going through. And other times it just helps you know what they're doing over there, who they're shooting at, where you can be that would bother them more. Right. So by playing the whole field, you learn the aspects of every position. And if you have the mental capacity to take that on, you become a better player. Absolutely. And outside of that, you can learn that on some field layouts, you'll be better in a spot a different spot than you expected to be, right?
Sure.
I mean, you're the same way. And Tyler, I see him all over the field too. And it's because sometimes you go out there and you're put in a position to play a different spot, but sometimes you're like, man, I should have been playing here the whole time, because this accentuates my skill set, right?
Sure.
Yeah. Like, are you a sneaky player? Do you gun battle a lot? Do you do this? We'll play that part of the field, because the shape of the bunker shouldn't matter. The size of the bunker shouldn't matter. It's the actual way that the field plays should matter.
Yeah.
And I don't see anyone doing that. And it bothers me all the time.
For sure. Each field has its own energy, you know?
Yeah.
Its
Every
own flow.
part of the field has its own flow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
I've never heard it explained that way, Ryan. I've explained it in different ways, but you're absolutely right. The shape of the bunker shouldn't matter. It is how that bunker plays. Is it a hold spot? Is it an attack spot? Does it have, 100%?
Yeah. And absolutely. Every shape of the bunker can be on any side of the field. Right. We just put these terms on things and say it is what it is. But you should be more than adept at every shape on the field, and then just put where you can be the best help to your team.
That's right.
And that's not always the place that you're the best, right? Because you got to think that you're fitting in with a bunch of other teammates too. So the overall 5 people out there have to be in the best spots to help everyone.
Totally.
It could be your second best spot, because maybe someone else gets to be in their first best spot instead of their third. And you have to take that give and take. And you can't always, you see certain players and they only play the best spot on the field.
Dude, this is some next level shit right here.
And they
this
get
is
good
some next level shit.
But it bothers me, because I don't think you're really helping the team. Sometimes you're hurting the team, because you're always taking that spot, and you're putting players that maybe would be better in it playing out of position.
Yeah.
And I think that's a selfish way to play for a lot of people.
Sure.
And we see that all day.
It's the norm.
That's right. That's the norm right there, for sure. Yeah, that's crazy, dude. And you're right, because every one of us is so unique, and every field is so unique. And if you don't, and that's why we are huge proponents of having each player. We teach this at our clinics too. We do these PTG Pro schools. Like, we want you all to run through every spot on the field. Everybody needs to play everywhere. And we want you to do that for, you know, a good portion of your practice so that you can all see what's going on out here.
And they should understand that, like, pro teams do that too. Like, I know at least for us, like, we'll be out playing you guys in a couple weeks, and I know the way we like to play when we're scrimmaging another team is play as many points as possible, as fast as possible, because we're learning as we're going, right? And we're going to be playing everywhere. And then the farther the weekend gets along, the more fine-tuned we get and the more into roles we can get. But at first, we're not trying to, we don't play 2 points and discuss something for a half hour and decide what's right or wrong, because we want reps. And once we get the reps, we can understand the flow of the game, and then we can start working around it.
That's right.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's it, dude. It's such an amazing game in that way, because each field, and it's so crazy because paintball isn't one of those sports where we have a court. We don't have a court. We don't have a football field. We don't have a soccer field. We don't have a basketball court. You know, we are ever changing every time. It's brand new, and every field has new energy and new flow.
It's a new puzzle.
It's a new puzzle. Yeah. So that's why you can't box yourself in on these kind of things. You got to do what Ryan's talking about here and experience the whole field. Otherwise, you're going to corner yourself without even knowing it, you know?
Absolutely, you will.
Yeah, man. That's amazing. I love that, dude. Well, where did we leave off with your story of your lineage here?
I think we're pretty caught up, and
I think we're right about there.
Pretty much everywhere. So.
Dude, we're heading into World Cup 2020. What's going on, bro?
Oh, you know, we're getting ready to three-peat. I've been trying. We've been all getting ready. But I mean,
I'm going to give you hell. I'm about to give you hell, buddy.
I wouldn't expect anyone to win. I mean, we won the last 2 years, and neither of them were easy. You know, everyone is it's a grind. It's a battle.
The last
we saw you in one of them.
Yeah, that's just the last game that's crazy though. Like, I can look at 5 different times in that tournament where one thing happens differently, and we're on our heels and we're playing differently. So everything has to go right, and everyone has to be playing their best to win a tournament, especially one like World Cup. But
that's right.
Honestly, like I said, like when I say I want to go out and three-peat, it would mean a lot to me, because we'd be the first team that had ever three-peated. But I understand that nothing's given to us. Everyone's going to be wanting to win this event. Everyone's going to be more than ready than any other year I could ever imagine, because we've all been, like you said, caged animals since March, you know? So it's not going to be easy. And the team that wins this, whoever it is going to earn it. There's no asterisks in it in my book, because you go out on that day and you win and you deserve it. I know you guys are going to be playing great. I know a handful, 5-10 other teams are going to be there with that goal in mind. And then some of the lower teams don't expect to win, but you know, any given day you could get a little. You never know. Your mind could change. You could do it, but I just know that I can't focus on a goal. I just can focus on being ready personally, and our team being ready, and getting ready. And these practices are coming up, and really giving our full effort, and not being complacent, not taking anything for granted. Just go out and play to the best of our ability, and play for all the people that have supported us through especially this year, but who have always supported us, and do the best we can. And as long as we play to the best of our ability, I know that we have the ability to win, but as long as we play that, even without winning, I can hold my head up high. It's you just don't want to go out and disappoint yourself, you know?
And that's it. All we can control is ourselves, and do the best we can possibly do. And, you know, we need all of us, and for all of us sitting here and the organizations we play for, we all got to be striving for greatness and doing everything that we possibly can in our powers to be the best that we possibly be. That way, like you said, Ryan, come Sunday, when the chips have fallen where they lay, you can hold your chin up high and know that you've done everything in your human powers to do whatever you can to do the best out there on that day. You know,
exactly.
That's something that I think, you know, and again, I do like bringing as much of this back to Tim as possible, but I feel like
appreciate that.
I feel like he brought that out of his teammates, even other than Team USA stuff, which, my goodness, I'm so glad I got to play on Team USA with him, because the heart and soul of Team USA is Tim Montressor. You know, you're a close second there, Captain America, but
no, Tim was. I'm not taking anything away from that.
Tim, truly, like the way he would come in and just the speeches, the passion, you know, and I know he did.
Dude, those videos. Oh my God.
Yeah. You want to know one of the most interesting things about that is that's not the way he preferred to play, like yelling and getting up like that. Like he plays a lot more like I do in my later career, where you want to be calm, you're relaxed, you already know you can sit there and not talk. You don't need to listen to music or get slapped in the back to play.
Right.
But he knew it helped other people.
Yes.
And because of that, he was willing to give up that little bit of, maybe it would have helped him more to just focus and breathe and just think about what was happening. He knew it would be better for the team to take that energy and to be the emotional leader and to be the captain. And that's what he was. I mean, he's been the captain of pretty much every team he's ever played on, because he was a special dude, and he looked out for his brothers more than himself. And he didn't care about his own stats or even his own playing time or his own abilities, or like he just wanted the best for everyone else. And when you said it, like his speeches, like gave me goosebumps sometimes. Like, but that's not even the way like I think that I need to play. Like that some people, it helps a ton, and like, and I would hear him and it would help me sometimes, and I knew that it wasn't helping him when he was saying it. So like, to me, all those were a lot more special
admirable.
because because I knew that it wasn't like he was doing it because that's what got him up. Because you see other players do it, and there's nothing wrong with that. You should do whatever gets you up. But like when I see like Nicky Cuba back in the day, like slapping people on Iron Man or hitting someone or getting someone to slap him, like that helped him. And because it helped him, he thought that that would help other people. Right. But what was really special about Tim is like it didn't help him, but he knew it helped other people, and he still went out of his way to do it. And that's just the kind of person he was in life and on the paintball field, outside the paintball field. He always looked out for his friends, and he looked out for anyone because he wanted to see the best out of people.
He's one of the most selfless people in paintball, in humanity, just one of the greatest humans that has ever walked the earth. And that's no bullshit.
Young,
this guy was dude, you know, and like such a heart of gold. And he will forever live on through all of us, and we will make sure of that. And we're going to make sure that that statue stands tall and that he lives on forever. Yeah, that's right, baby.
Cheesy smile, two digits up in the
air. Man, what a beautiful human. And you know, what would be something that Tim would want all of us to remember that we can all carry with us as we move forward into 2020, World Cup coming, 2021? What would be something that my man would want us all to remember?
He was a selfless person. So I'm going to go back to that. Like he wouldn't care about you remembering him. He never played for any accolades or anything like that. What he would want you to remember is be true to yourself, be true to your friends, be a good friend, reach out to people that be that person that sets up a vacation or a meeting or a party or a cookout. Be the person that brings people together, because that's what he was about. He was about bringing people together. In work, he brought people together. He led teams. On the actual field, he led teams. Like he brought people together and brought the best out of them. So I would say that that's what he would want you to think about. Think about what you can do to help people around you, and what you can do to stay connected with people, because it's easy to forget about people. It's easy to get stuck into your own life and your own problems. And it's easy to kind of let friends fall to the wayside, or people to life move you on, but it doesn't have to. No one has to move on from things. Everything we do is our own personal decision. So you can move on and still stay close with people, you know? And that's what I think he would want. Like,
dude, I love that.
I want you to be your best person and be the best person for everyone around you, you know?
Connector, dude. Connect everything. And dude, it's so powerful to do that, because you're right, man. Too often, like you said, friends fall to the wayside. Life pushes us in certain
directions. And a lot of times it's not because people want it to. A lot of times it's because no one had that leader to bring it together and just keep the connection, right? And people look and go, well, why didn't I stay connected to them? I have friends that I wish I had talked to more. I should send a text message to more. I should do that. But you think like, and it's not like you see them and you're still great friends with them, and you just think, oh, they're doing their life, I'm doing my life. But it's important to stay connected with people you care about. And that's what he was best at, and that's what I have tried to become better at, because I'm not, but I would work to be a better person
and be
at
that,
you know?
Be that source, you know what I
but
mean?
If I don't think anyone could ever fill his shoes, because I don't know how he connected as many people as he did, and how he stayed in contact, and how he was that open, and just his ability to do that was crazy. But if everyone just is a little better, it helps. Like if everyone reaches out a little more, that helps.
That's right. He
One
must have
person
had.
doesn't have to do it.
That's right. And I was just thinking, like, man, who taught him how to do this? Because he must have had the most beautiful family, or some of the most beautiful friends, or like someone.
He had some pretty beautiful friends.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, the connectivity is
important.
amazing, and that's what it's all about. And Ryan, we're so grateful for everything that you do for the sport, and for everything that you bring to paintball, and for just coming on, sharing this time with us, dude. It's
Likewise,
it's,
man. It was a pleasure for
truly,
me. I really had a good time, and hopefully we
dude.
can do it again in the future. But I'm
Heck
looking
yeah.
forward to seeing you guys in a couple weeks.
Yeah, dude. I
Yeah,
know
it is
we're
gonna
not
be a good one.
we're not
Oh,
too
yeah,
far
it's
out
fun.
here. Thank
Yeah.
God, bro. We get to play some paintball.
And we get to make each other better like we always do. That's what's important.
I love it.
That's
Yeah,
right.
we love practicing you guys. Honestly,
Yeah,
it's
likewise.
it's
Yeah.
it's in the HK family as well, and we always have good practices.
But even before it was, I thought our
Yeah,
teams practiced well, I
absolutely.
think.
Yeah.
Dude, it's always been a brotherhood, Ryan. You're one of my brothers, and I'm so grateful to have you in paintball with us. And man, what a community that we've built. And for all the listeners out there, just stay connected with your people, man. Let's keep boosting each other. Let's keep having fun. It's all love for paintball, and let's just keep thriving. You know, that's all we can do in these days.
I love it.
Yeah, dude. Well, Ryan, you stay safe out there, brother. Marshy, you got anything else? And also, where can people find you, Ryan? Give us some platforms that people can find you on for Instagram and all that.
I guess just Instagram.
Okay, perfect.
Ryan's pretty low key out there.
Yeah, just Moorhead 85.
Perfect.
There
There
you
we
go.
go.
My Facebook's been too full for a long time.
Yeah.
Over, so I don't know.
He's got 5,000 on there. He's capped out.
Yeah.
Got
Yeah,
that,
dude. Well, beautiful, man. Well, we can't wait to see you in a couple weeks, and thank you once again. We got full hearts here. Thank you for coming on the show.
Thanks for having me, man.
All right,
Appreciate it.
brother. Have a good night. Peace.
That was amazing. I can't say enough good things about Ryan Moorhead. As a player, as a person, Ryan Moorhead is just a spectacular human being, and that was a fantastic show. Tim Montressor, we love him. Always will. The paintball community is always going to rally around that man and everything that he did for the sport. And it was so amazing to hear some of the stories from Ryan about their friendship, some of their travels, and just the entire Philly organization, their history. What an amazing show. We hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you guys so much for tuning in and being on this journey with us. If you guys would like, you could head over to ptgpaintball.com. We've got our merchandise on there. We do have our Patreon as well. If you would like to become a supporter of the show, we would greatly appreciate it. You guys are our lifeblood, and we want to continue to bring you guys amazing content as we plan to do. We do also have some awesome merchandise on there. If you guys want a cool coffee mug or some t-shirts, we even have some winter jackets on there now, which are pretty sweet. And our website was brought to you by Rusty Glaze at Constant Pursuit. Rusty Glaze designs websites. He does an amazing job. He has built websites for much of the paintball community. So if you find yourself in need of a website, Rusty's your guy. Hit him up. He can hook you up and get your entrepreneur goals in motion. Every entrepreneur needs a website. You gotta, be able to showcase your brand or your field or whatever it might be. So again, guys, that's ptgpaintball.com. Check it out, and we will see you soon.